compensated for that.
Have you heard the good word? Trump's gonna get it done. He'll release the Epstein files on day one. The lambs will cry when those names are exposed. Trump's gonna see that justice is imposed. What's that? Oh no, he needs a few months. He wants a case airtight, no bumps. His AG Pam Bondi says files on her desk. Immaculat's got binders, they can't attest. He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched anything. Just draining the swamp with Epstein's name off screen. We got new info, the files were in your mind. Watch Epstein's jail cam, edited for time. No list of accomplices, the guy just died and all this talk of conspiracy, just people who lied. And Trump, he never spent time with that creep, except for the flights and the orgy he peeped. No surprise, there's no client list to exist. Sorry, my friends, it was all just a myth. He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched anything. He's draining the swamp with Epstein's name off screen. The files exist made by Obama, Hill, and Biden. Let's not talk Epstein no more or ever again. Reminder that Trump and Epstein were not pals. Why do you care so much about it? All my boys and gals. From now on, if you say Epstein out loud, you're Antifa scum, disloyal and proud. A threat to humanity like Rosie O'Donnell. Deport you to prison without a trial. And amidst several leaks, and Trump's name appears 100 times over the course of some years. Expect a visit from the army and feds. Trump with a Sharpie erasing what's said. He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched anything. He's draining the swamp with Epstein's name off screen.
This money glitch. Okay. All you gotta do is deposit a fake check at a Chase ATM. Yeah. Just write down whatever amount, but you can withdraw the funds immediately from your account. What? It doesn't matter if you got like enough or whatever. It automatically clears the check. No way. I saw it online. It's like a real life money glitch. I mean, you want to know what that's called? What? That's check fraud. That's fraud, you moron. No. You're literally writing out a fraudulent check to JP Morgan, one of the most powerful entities on the face of the planet. No, it's a money glitch. It's not a money glitch. It's jail. Bert, you just robbed a bank. You didn't know that. You didn't know what? What did you think was gonna happen? They were just gonna secretly get away from stealing from a bank that has all of your information? Get someone on X. They see you. Oh. No.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I don't know, probably not.
Well, it's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create... Dude, are you even paying attention?
Hello, 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 everybody. How are we doing today? Holy shit, no way. Guys, do you see what just happened? There was no fucking scuff. I mean, there was minimal scuff. There's probably some identifiable amount of scuff, but like not as much as I thought. Especially considering we are reacting to the king of scuff today, Legal Mindset. We have a number. Let's see here. Alex Novell, Somali, Dislo, Denims, Pokemon, and Pirate Software. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. Anyway, let us go ahead and, greet our lovely chat here. McSkittles, Mr. Schnitzel, Ike 13D, Dargon, Eric, Saku Kocho Dragon, Hawkeye, Nerdy Texan Accountant, J Zilla Productions 2004, Meteoric, The Best Remy, Lumisa, Drift. This guy's just named Drift, and he's got a solid white profile picture. He's so scary. Can't stick around, unfortunately, but hi Eva Swinburnian, welcome. And no worries, that's fine. We're just gonna be reacting to Legal Mindset stuff today. Mostly because people be going crazy, yo. No, actually, the person who's going crazy, he might have to put in a insanity plea. Insanity plea. It's Andrew. He's been fucking hitting it out of the park. The last week he has released a lot of videos on a lot of different people. The first thing we're going to be reacting to today, though, is actually a little more... I mean, it's not like... I like the nickname Lumi, but also Misa, so I did the old switcheroo. I'm not a mermaid, though. Lumisa. Are you Tika Misa? Chiki... fuck, I forgot her name. You know who I know. Are you who I think you are? Star Driver, welcome to the chat. Insanity plane, yeah, that's the plane that just, You know what, never mind. I was gonna go somewhere with that, and that was gonna be dark, and we're not gonna go there. Okay, so, the first video that we are gonna be reacting to there, Dargon Eric. Got a loaf of... Wait a minute. Got a loaf of homemade banana bread in the oven, you motherfucker. And did you bring enough to share with the class? Oh, gotcha, Lumisa. Okay, I just want to check something real quick. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's right. The first thing that we're going to be reacting today is, Alex, well, not Alex, excuse me. Andrew's response to the defamatory claims that were made in Alex Novell's documentary, quote-unquote, about Johnny Somali. Apparently several, rather serious claims were made. I don't know why Alex Novell, believes that, taking shots at a fucking lawyer is a good idea, but this is not something that he is unfamiliar with. For instance, again, thanks to Legal Mindset bringing this to my attention through his Twitter. Give me a second. Let me bring this up. It's Ramsey. Does that coming live as a premiere? Oh, and here we go. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do this first. Alex Novell. We're gonna give you a little background of Alex Novell. Are you ready for this shit? Because this shit is pretty crazy. Where the fuck is... Hello? Wait a minute. I'm not sure where my, that might be it. Nope, wasn't. What's going on here? Why don't you see that? There it is, okay. So, not only has Alex Novell made defamatory claims and taken shots at Andrew, with Legal Mindset, he has also taken shots at and, ended up having to be publicly smacked down by none other than Alan Dershowitz himself. Mr. Glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. Literally, that Alan Dershowitz. Apparently, here we go. Let me just read through this real quick, and then we're gonna react to Legal Mindset's response to the defamatory claims that Novell said to him. But this is the level of ethics that this quote-unquote journalist employed. Journalists are supposed to be governed by rules and ethics, but too many of them will do anything, violate any rule, break any trust, lie to any source in order to get a career-building story. Most journalists comply with their ethical obligations, but the ones who do not cause understandable distrust among the general public. Recently, a young man named Alex Novell emailed me saying I'm a graduate student in NYU working on a documentary film about the history of the Taglit Birthright program. He asked me for an interview with you as it would provide expert commentary for the film. I agreed first because I like to encourage students who are doing interesting projects. Second, I assumed, as he indeed led me to assume, that he was a current student at NYU and that his project was part of his studies under the supervision of the school. And third, I care deeply about Birthright and its impact on American students, and having worked with the program, deeply respect it. Novell began the interview by asking several relevant questions about Birthright. Then suddenly, as the interview was about to come to an end, and this is where we start employing, or Alex starts employing extremely unethical journalistic tactics. Let's see here. Then suddenly, as the interview was about to come to an end, he threw out the following accusatory question. How much did you pay the woman who accused you to change her story? I told him that I paid her nothing, but he persisted on the subject. I answered all of his questions and asked him why he used Birthright as a pretext to ask me about the false accusation. We then had an exchange of emails in which he denied that he ever represented that he was a current student, claiming falsely that he said he had graduated from NYU. He admitted that if he had represented himself as a current student working at NYU's sponsored project, that would have been false, but that is exactly what he did write me. I am a graduate student at NYU working on a documentary film. Not I'm a former graduate student with no current connection to NYU, or even just saying former would have been fine. He was deliberately deceptive and did make false statement. So I'm not going to continue to read on this, because this is going to just continue be pretty much an impeachment of this asshole's fucking, like, how low he will fucking sink. But yes, he tried to get Alan Dershowitz, the fucking Alan Dershowitz, on for an interview about Birthright, and then tried to ambush journalism about the false accusations that were made about him. I'm sorry, but if this is your fucking, if this is your inline, if this is your tactic to hard-hitting journalism, you need to find a new job. So with that little bit of background laid, let us go ahead and jump into oh, thank you so much, Drift, for becoming a house Carl. Jesus Christ, apparently I can't talk today. Dude is a Hassan stan, so that's all you really need to know. Oh, gross. Gross. Eric Barkman, welcome to chat, and Ethereal as well. I was trying to listen in on the Texas special session. This seems more fun. There, fair. Okay, so let us get back to Alex Novell is a liar like Johnny Somali. That is the name of this. Let us go ahead and let the goated, the champion, if you will, Andrew with legal mindset. I almost said legal evil, but I didn't, so fuck off. Anyway, like it said, let's continue. There we go. So handsome.
Alex Novell is a liar like Johnny Somali. Today, we're going to address some insidious, malicious defamation that has been brought against me by one Alex Novell in cooperation with the Somali Discord. And we are going to totally destroy these allegations with facts and objectivity, as we always do on the Legal Mindset.
I should give one caveat. Wait. Andrew does make one potential mistake in here about Alex's claims, and what would that be? I'm interested to know. What a handsome man. But hold on, I'm gonna pause it because for those who don't know, JP Ravenfire is a moderator for Legal Mindset as well as me, and so he has quite a little bit more information, context, and such than I would, for instance, especially when it comes to Andrew's content. So what's the... I'm wondering what the one potential mistake is. How is Novell speaking in Somali's flavor, yet a Hassan simp? Is Hassan against Somali? Because, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. The JP is like a quadruple agent, dude. He's like a freaking moderator for like 4 streamers. Do. Put on the background music again while we wait. By the way, kudo points to anybody. I'm a glowy. Okay, shit. What did I... Forgot what I was gonna... It's about the trafficking claims. Okay. Gotcha. We'll have to see. I think I know what you're talking about in terms of the one mistake, although I would argue with the framing and the intent here, even with Alex saying allegedly, because he does say misunderstood when he meant nothing for sure. Okay, well we'll have to look at it, and I'll have to look at the statement, because again, it is possible Andrew misunderstood what Alex said, but when included with all the other defamatory claims, it's also reasonable to understand that Andrew might have taken what might have been an innocuous comment as a personal attack, given how much of this film Alex has used to attack Legal Mindset. So let's see here.
A judge, and this is the type of episode that I would normally not do. This is the type of thing that I would normally not get into, and of course I do have a PowerPoint here today, but because these accusations, because these things have been mentioned, have been so malicious, these are beyond routine, and because they've spread around enough that enough people have seen them, that there needs to be a direct and clear rejection, a direct and clear rebuttal of all these things. It rises above the normal level, which I would ignore, which is typically my policy with most defamation, because as a figure on the internet, you need to accept the fact that people are going to say bad things about you, and people say bad and untrue things about me all the time, and routinely I do ignore those. However, this one is malicious, and because it was concocted in such deep collaboration with Somali's people, this deserves to be called out and deserves to be dismissed as what it is, as malicious defamation. So I want to be very clear about this. Everything that we're going to talk about, every allegation this person makes is 100% false. Not only is it false, but these charges are so disgusting and so horrible that if anybody was guilty of this, if I was guilty of this, I would throw myself to the chipper, right? These are false, disgusting claims. And what are they? Well, I'm going to not hide the ball here. These malicious accusations are that I committed crimes against minors and that I committed revenge porn, both of which are serious crimes, felonies
for which I would be behind bars. I'd be locked up. I'd have an arrest record. I'd be going to court. I'd be extradited because extradition, that is removal from a country, is very much on the table in every country I've lived in: South Korea, Philippines, Thailand, and even Japan. All those countries will extradite people if there's even a shred of evidence to this. But of course, this is all false, and this is all malicious, and this is all 1,000% defamation. And when I say it's malicious, because this person not only knows they were lies, but came up with the lies to smear me and to make me look bad. Now, who is this person? Alex Novell. He is a wannabe director who is a Somali fan. He is a Somali sympathizer. He wants to paint Somali in a sympathetic light. In fact, at the end of his fan film, people were clapping for Somali because he was trying to make him seem like some sort of sympathetic figure. However, Alex Novell is the type of guy who lies. He lies consistently, just like Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali will say whatever he says to get out of a situation, or to create some story or create some lie. Alex Novell is exactly the same way. They're peas in a pod. And perhaps it's fitting that they spent a lot of time together, I believe weeks together, in Korea, together under the same roof, right? Filming, shooting the shit. And because of that, I think there's a lot of behaviors that cross over there. But he lies to his audience. He lies in his power.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I just ran out of had to help. Started raining. Oh, Jesus Christ. Freaking this moved a bunch of carpet. Okay, here we go.
He was guilty of this. If I was guilty of this, I would throw myself to the chipper, right? These are false, disgusting claims. And what are they? Well, I'm going to not hide the ball here. These malicious accusations are that I committed crimes against minors and that I committed revenge porn, both of which are serious crimes, felonies, for which I would be behind bars. I'd be locked up. I'd have an arrest record. I'd be going to court. I'd be extradited because extradition, that is removal from a country, is very much on the table in every country I've lived in: South Korea, Philippines, Thailand, and even Japan. All those countries will extradite people if there's even a shred of evidence to this. But of course, this is all false, and this is all malicious, and this is all 1,000% defamation. And when I say it's malicious, because this person not only knows they were lies, but came up with the lies to smear me and to make me look bad. Now, who is this person? Alex Novell. He is a wannabe director who is a Somali fan. He is a Somali sympathizer. He wants to paint Somali in a sympathetic light. In fact, at the end of his fan film, people were clapping for Somali because he was trying to make him seem like some sort of sympathetic figure. However, Alex Novell is the type of guy who lies. He lies consistently, just like Johnny Somali.
Again, that is part of why I showed you guys that Alan Dershowitz article, because this isn't even like, this is a pattern behavior that Alex Novell has established with more than just a few lawyers. Like, absolutely. Like, here's the thing. Alex Novell is somebody who Andrew actually contacted me and told me, hey, this guy might be a problem. He's looking into anybody who's even remotely friendly with me, and he might use my interactions with you to try and attack me. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I ended up, you know, I was given a more than fair freaking warning about this piece of shit. And again, it's for whatever reason, he really wants to take down Andrew. I don't know why, but he does. And everything that he has said is either a lie or has some truth to it and has a lot of lie mixed in just through, like, missing context or whatever. But, no, like this, like, he is a consistent problem. Alex Novell has pretty much gone on record and said that because my model is the way that it is, that makes Andrew a predator somehow. But that is the kind of stupidity that we are dealing with. So yes, Alex is a guy who lies. That is pretty much about as accurate of a statement as you can get.
Johnny Somali will say whatever he says to get out of a situation or to create some story or create some lie. Alex Novell is exactly the same way. They're peas in a pod. And perhaps it's fitting that they spent a lot of time together, I believe, weeks together in Korea, together under the same roof, right? Filming, shooting the shit. And because of that, I think there's a lot of behaviors that cross over there. But he lies to his audience. He lies in his past works. He lied to Somali with Hank, Ice Poseidon, everybody. He lied about the contract. He made everybody sign this contract, which said, which essentially promised nothing. It was a quote unquote Borat contract. He promised people payment, which will never come. So those sort of things he just does out of matter of course. And his position on this, and this is something he said very recently this week, and we made this screenshot, of course, is that me acting that way towards a subject is disarming and not a representation of my actual opinions of the person. So he justifies his lying to people, saying, I can lie to people because, well, that gets them to say what I want. That gets them in the position that I want. And this is the entire thing that I figured out about him early.
I'm sorry, what? There we go. I also called Mr. Bates a good guy. Me acting that way towards the subject is disarming and not a representation of my actual opinions. Well, you're a two-faced piece of shit then. What, you think that because cops can lie to you to get whatever confession they want that you can too? This isn't how this works. This is extremely ill-intentioned. You know what you're doing too. That's the big problem with this, is I know he knows what he's doing.
Representation of my actual opinions of the person. So he justifies his lying to people, saying, I can lie to people because, well, that gets them to say what I want. That gets them in the position that I want. And this is the entire thing that I figured out about him early on, and I learned about him early on, and the exact reason why I turned him down. And ever since I turned him down, way back in March, ever since I shot him down, like rejecting a prom date, he never got over that. And because of that, he has come up with all sorts of fictitious stuff for the past couple months, culminating in what is the worst defamation that I've seen, period, and the craziest lies, which we're going to debunk today.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and that's the only reason. Andrew has said it as well. I'll say it too, because typically speaking, a lawyer's response to defamation, this guy, Alex, is bad, safe all the way. Yes, he is. I don't get why Ava is used as what I'm going to call weaponized lowly consistently by these devs because of my model. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I knew that this was going to happen, especially when I took the law lead moniker. So, like, I knew this was going to happen. I expected it. But back to what I was saying. Lawyers are normally their response to defamation and stuff. Thank you, Drift, for the one member. But typically speaking, lawyers' responses to defamation is just to ignore it. It has to reach a particularly high standard or spread quite a bit before us to go, okay, this needs correction because this is bad. And Alex, is for all the shit that he is, has actually, Drift, another one. Thank you so much. Alex, for all the stupidity that he is comprised of, has managed to spread enough shit far enough about Andrew that Andrew felt the need to respond. Again, this is impressive. For those who don't know, a couple weeks ago, I had another gifted one. Thank you so much. But for those who don't know, a couple weeks ago, I had the fruit farms come at me a little bit. Not a big deal, but there was defamatory claims. There was a bunch of stuff there. I didn't bring attention to it. I ignored it because that's ultimately the MO and how to respond to defamation, especially if you are a content creator. You have to wait for it to reach a certain standard or a certain level before it elicits a response. Because Streisand affecting everything, you have to be extremely careful with how you react to certain things. Because your reaction, like say Thorn with Pirate Software, sometimes your reaction to the defamatory claims, I would say most times actually, is usually going to be worse than had you said nothing at all. But this guy actually managed to get a lawyer to go, okay, I have to address this, and it's a lawyer, so he's not going to say anything that's going to make him look stupid. He's just going to tear apart your argument completely asunder, and I guarantee you that this video is putting Alex Novell on notice, going, look, I know you know that this isn't false, but this is a public statement, me refuting the claims, making it all the more possible for any future claims to be met very easily with a lawsuit. Because again, you have to prove malice. That is hard because Andrew's a public figure. You have to prove malice, more than likely. And while I know that Andrew knows that Alex knows that the claims are not... Jesus, that was a wall. I know that Andrew knows that Alex knows that the claims are not true because Alex Novell has been sniffing around the Johnny Somali, Ice Poseidon, all this shit for a hot minute, and Andrew is over there dealing with this, covering this information. So, even though Andrew knows that Alex knows that these claims are not false, the general public doesn't, and so this video very much serves as a public statement. Hey, these are the claims that are being made. They are patently false, and any to perpetuate these claims is 100% actionable and speaks to your malicious intent.
Go through the record and give you some background because some of you may not know. This is when he contacted me back in March, and he was saying he was going to film a documentary on Johnny. And I said, hey, listen, I'm not in Korea right now. I was in Thailand. He wanted me to do an in-person interview. I couldn't do that. I said, hey, I'm not going to do a in-person interview. But what I'll do is if you submit me written questions, I will answer them. And I'll do it by video or audio, either one. He did not like that. He threatened me.
Okay. Wait, he threatened you? Okay, yeah, it's going to be a film on... It's going to be film documentary on him. Perhaps he'd be willing to do the interview audio only. It's going to premiere at a film festival, and I might... Did that happen, by the way? It's not about video audio, it's time, and I have odd hours here at Asia as well as to my needs schedule. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing, I've never asked to come on to, an Andrew mindset, an illegal mindset stream or anything like that. And there's been many times he's like, oh, I need to get her on, I need to get her on, I need to get this person on, I need to get that person on. But from when you hear that statement on Andrew, oh, I need to get them on again for whatever, and then sometimes months of time are going to pass before he even has an opening to do that stream he mentioned Dilly. So again, when it comes to things he wants to do, his schedule is extremely limited and tied up. So when it comes to something that he doesn't want to do, yeah, dude, I don't have enough time for me, let alone for you.
After I gave this response, he proceeded to threaten me when I just said no. And it's very funny how someone can feel entitled to an interview. I owe this individual or any individual on the internet nothing. I don't have to give my work and my time away for free, not a second of my time. I am asked for interviews all the time. I have people that want to come on my channel and people that ask me to come on their channels. I rarely do interviews because my time is so limited. And unless someone is willing to compensate me for that time, I'm sorry, I'm just not willing to do that. But there was no offer of compensation. Not that I would have believed him in the first place because he's lied to everybody else. But beyond that, I discovered when I did a bit of research on this dude that he is a bad faith actor, that he is someone who lies to everyone and then tries to get him with gotcha questions, things we've seen in the mainstream media, things we see all the time where people will try to get you to do a gotcha question in a long 1 hour interview and then clip out the one gotcha question to put into their final.
Yeah, okay, and again, remember, it's funny that he's describing this because we just read that Alan Dershowitz article where that's exactly what the fuck he did. See, the thing about these unethical journalists, these malicious journalists, I like to call them, they're predictable. They have a playbook that they operate from, and it doesn't matter the industry that the documentarian or the journalist is operating in. The methods of obtaining what they want to use for what they want to use it for, their bad faith information. Their methodology for obtaining that bad faith information is almost always the same. It's usually 2 or 3 tactics, and that's about it.
final piece. And that's not what I was going to have with him, and that's not what I was going to allow. He didn't like that, so he proceeded to threaten me. And ever since then, he's been crazed about going after me. And we've got the receipts for that. So he always says, and this is one of the funniest things, that he's not trying to jump to conclusions or not trying to put it.
Bro, are you kidding me right now? What is this? What? The Alaric's non-legal mindset, a Tozy, Ice Poseidon, Chicken Andy, Tazo, Mando. Who the fuck are these? Why does his fucking wall behind him look like the goddamn fucking, it looks like the wall from Pepe Sylvia. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Pepe Sylvia. Where's Pepe Sylvia? A Lion Bean asked, didn't Trump sue 60 Minutes for clipping an interview? I think he tried, yeah. I don't think he actually won, but I think he did try.
A tinfoil hat. But we're going to show that everything that this guy brings up is the craziest tinfoil hat of all, even within his own narrative, which is all false. His narrative is complete BS. But his own BS narrative doesn't even make sense. So not only is it false, which we're going to show or prove, but it doesn't even make sense within its own internal logic. Its own internal logic doesn't even make sense, not to mean that it's all false. So that's what we're going to show today. So,
okay.
First of all, this shows he was back here asking about me back in April. Here's him talking about documents, saying some of these, I believe, are traffic related. So he's accusing me of trafficking, that is human trafficking, back in April with no proof before he submitted any Freedom of Information.
Okay, I see. Okay, so GP Ravenfire, I'm going to guess that this is the line that you think that Andrew is misinterpreting. Some of these, I believe, are traffic related, but there's one that's criminal and none from 2023. So, what I think this guy meant is, like, street traffic, like he was driving. Like, yes, like, yeah, some of these, I believe, are traffic related. Yes, so yes, the rain is something that I've had in the background for a hot minute. I return once more. You can't hear. Okay, okay, guys. You can't actually hear the rain. The rain is actually in the video, the background for my my thing, you know, my room that I'm in. This thing here. Look. What's behind all of our fucking UI and shit? The chair and the fucking, there's like a cauldron and shit back there. But yeah, okay. Anyway. So yes, I do think, I see what you're saying there. But again, given the larger scope of all the claims that Alice Novell has been making against Andrew, I imagine this was a pretty easy mistake. But I do think you're correct. In saying that this is not sex trafficking. This is not an accusation of sex trafficking. I really do wish it was more specific to like traffic tickets or something, like traffic ticket related or something like that, automotive or something like something in the line of there. But there's one. But see the wording here. But there's one that's criminal and none from 2023. So. Some of these, I believe, are traffic related. Well, if they were all sex traffic related, they'd all be criminal. But there's one that's criminal and none for 2023. So again, I do think Andrew made a mistake here. I don't think he's being accused of sex trafficking here. But I can see why that mistake was made, especially in the larger scope of all of the other accusations, like the revenge porn accusation and stuff like that.
Information Act request. Nothing. It says... but there's one that's criminal and none from 2023. So he's accusing me of being a criminal in April before he's received any information on me. Now, spoiler alert, he will receive information that proves, and as others have seen and looked at, and I will prove, that there is no criminal background, that I have zero criminal background. In fact,
so
the only things on my record are my victim reports where I was a victim of a car break-in. That's the only thing there is on all
the
records.
Wait, are you serious? In terms of any criminal, like, trials or like, any criminal proceedings, the only thing that he shows up on is victim statements because his car was broken into. And that is what is being used as, oh, he had a criminal bout. You motherfucker. You absolute ass.
Records that this guy pulled are all the records out there, which is pretty insane. But you see here that even back then in April, he was looking into me and looking into things. And this contradicts his own narrative.
Clearly.
You're going to see why. Here he is in the highest level chat. Now, those that are aware of the Somali coverage, you know, the Somali intelligence agency, that is the highest level of the pirate gang of the
Somali stupidity
the
agency.
Somali followers. And these people, this chat has
SSA.
several fake legal mindset accounts. They've been trying to dox me and do nasty fake stuff on me for the last 5-6 months. That has been a really pain in my butt.
It's been a hot
but
minute.
we've taken care of that. We've handled all that stuff, or just I ignore it. And you've got Somali in here under 2 accounts, Somali Epstein, Somali Diddy, right? And one of these fake legal mindset accounts is him as well. And he's digging on my information on me in May with the pirates. Mind you, these guys at the very same time are working on the doxing of various people. They're attacking Bong Bong, the female Korean streamer, creating deepfakes of them, deepfakes of Jungman, doing all sorts of nasty things, creating all sorts of fake information on people at this same time. And he is in there collaborating. In fact, we're going to show that he is in fact collaborating to this day with the Somali Discord.
Are you
threatening
serious?
to dox people, threatening to expose people. He's been in that community, in that group, tight as thieves with these people since months ago, and remains there to this day, which is pretty insane for someone who claims to be objectively covering this. The other thing is he submitted this report here. This is a Freedom Information Act request related to me. He tried to submit this on April 6, 2025. So this day is very, very, very important because Mr. Novell, Mr. Alex Novell, claims, oh, I just started looking into you just recently. Oh, just out in June 20th. I just started looking at you. No. He's had this hate boner for me going since April.
April, May, June. Like April, dude, like this is as generously as I could get it. 2 months before you claimed you started looking into Andrew. And, like, less generously, I could say closer to 3 months. But, again, this is way beyond the timetable of, oh, I started looking into this guy in June, and this is what I know you didn't. You fucking liar.
Late March. He's been coming after me, trying to get me ever since I turned him down. The second I turned him down, he flipped on me. But that's not his story. In fact, he tries to pretend that this was something that came up more recently. Let's watch the documentary
I really like,
and the proof from his own documentary.
Real quick, hold on. I really like these headphones. These headphones look really good.
Where he lies. Once again, he starts out talking about me lying, right? Let's listen to this clip. So before I could even start
to look into who Legal Mindset is, I got this phone call.
So let's pause right there. So he says, before I could start looking into me, I got this phone call. What date is the phone call? Let's enhance this a little bit here. 6/20/2020.
Oh my god, holy shit, I was right. Okay, I said generously 2 months. Less generously, more than a month, more than 2 months, closer to 3 months. June 20th, this apparent phone call came in. That is that's the lion's share of 3 months right there. You're talking about a week left before you actually hit 3 full fucking months, a quarter of a goddamn year. And, okay, so here's another thing, too. Before I even get into, like, this phone call, right? Because he's gonna play it, we're gonna listen to it, all that. But here's the thing. 1. How can we verify the validity of this individual's claims and accusations if their voice has been modified to protect their identity? Again, you have a constitutional right to face your accuser. this woman, apparently, allegedly, is making this accusation against Andrew, using Alex Novell to get this information out. Now, that's the most generous, like benefit of the doubt thing that we could actually, give this. But, and maybe this might just be speculation. Maybe it's backed by evidence, maybe it's not. But, if Alex Novell were to contact a woman and have her make this phone call on his behalf to fabricate evidence that Andrew is a sexual predator, this is more than just defamation. This is more than just malicious intent. You are now falsifying stuff that could potentially, because here's what ended up happening, right? Is either, but I think this would show up in discovery for any kind of defamation case. And then people are going to look at this, well, if this isn't legitimate, if this person doesn't exist, then how do you have this? Is this speaking to your malicious intent? Okay, well, it is. Maybe the district attorney might have some fucking questions for you regarding falsifying evidence that, hey, it might not have been submitted to the court before when you created, but goddamn if this doesn't end up in the court when you're having to defend yourself from the defamation that you have levied against Andrew.
25.
Yeah, 620 was less than a month ago. Oh, well, no, a month and a day. Month and a day. Very easy, month and a day.
So this guy claims, I didn't start looking into you till 6/20/2025.
There we go.
Well, according to your own records, which you show, that is a lie. That is a ball-faced lie right here, April 6, 2025, and even digging before that, April 1st, etc. So once again, his own documents, the stuff he brought up himself, just proves that he is indeed a liar.
You're Jesus.
And
nice.
he's got this friend or foe mentality. You're either with him or you're against him. So he tries to be buddy with you at first, and then as soon as you turn on him, he's your worst enemy. He tries to dox you, threaten you. He's done this with several people, and we have him doing this even recently in the Discord servers with people that he views are giving a contrary opinion. So anybody goes against him, he immediately flips on them. And as soon as you cross them, he makes threats, he comes after you, and that's just what happens.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So for the past 6 months, he's been working with Somali to dox people, to expose people, to try to come after me, dig up information. That has been his MO. And you can see here, this is proof of that doxing, right? So this happened just this week, literally just this week, where he says, Mr. Netherlands, watch out, I'll dox you too. This is in the Discord. Now, I will say real quick, for the record, some Discord records show up differently because some are on mobile, some are on web, and the presentation shows up differently. The format shows up differently. This is 2 different images that I added here. But anyways, watch out, I'll dox you too. Then I'll tweet it along with all his other info.
It's extremely important to point out what he just did. What Alex just did. What Andrew just did, Because here's the thing, like Cat Liente or Kevin Chat or even other individuals, a lot of individuals who covered the Cinder drama and stuff like that, they presented these screenshots or screenshots similar and then did not actually explain the discrepancy. You can see the clipping issue here. Hold on, there we go. You can see it right here. You can see there's clearly something happened, which is fine, especially if you mention, like he did, I just overlaid these screenshots. The one is via PC, one is via mobile, so it looks a little differently. Here they are side by side. He mentioned it, he specified it. He did not present this as one singular screenshot or one collection from the same source. He actually specified that, hey, this is 2 sources spliced together. I think Andrew and his adherence to ethics in terms of reporting could be extended to the DOJ and the FBI.
Right. So Lurid can totally try. I can just get their name and info. Then if they're the registrant to the website it's posted on, it's easier than you think. So saying, hey, look, I'm going to be able to go after you and dox you and expose you.
This is
if you go against me, if you counter my points, it's really insane. Now, why does he do this? Well, he appears to hold some extreme political beliefs. I think he thinks I'm some sort of political opponent of his, even though I've tried to be, at least for the last year, apolitical and analyze things objectively, but he doesn't see
I would
things
say
that way.
closer
He's
to the
pretty
last
obsessed.
2 years.
He's also clearly
Like, I would say that Andrew has made a active, conscious effort over the last 2 years, not just single year, but especially over the last 2 years to move away from any of the more divisive political content. Not that he had much to begin with.
trying to get Hassan clout. And we're going to show that in a second, where I've got screenshots of who he tags and what he tags in the videos. But he's trying to get Senpai to notice him, Senpai Hassan to notice him very, very clearly. And he's mad that I turned him down without fear, that I said no to him. I'm not going to interview with him. And he needed me for his Somali fan film. But I knew he was a bad faith actor. I told people not to associate with him. Now, everyone is free to associate as they want to associate.
Look, again, it's great. No, but this is where people don't, this is where people get it wrong sometimes, okay? So there's instances where I've been collabing. I've been a content creator for almost a year now. And I will say that one thing that has happened consistently with me is I will show remote interest, right? Or even like in passing interest in something, and I'll get a DM or I'll get somebody approaching me and say, "Hey, you need to watch out about that Salvi the Blue Squirrel guy. Hey, you need to watch out about so-and-so. You need to watch out about Rima. You need to watch out about all these other fucking people," right? And I go, "Okay, look, this is some guilt by association shit, and I'm not going to stand for it. However, there's a difference here, because I never even knew about Alex Novell, okay? I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what he was up to behind the scenes. Andrew approached me and said, "Hey, this guy is working on this documentary. He might approach you. This is what you need to look out for." And he presented me links and stuff. He showed me why Alex Novell was a bad guy that I want to avoid. The difference between Andrew's warning off about this association with this guy and other people who actually, Salvi the Blue Squirrel is amazing. I love him. Anyway, with Andrew presenting it, he's presenting it with a legitimate concern about something that's currently happening that might end up involving me. He needs to inform me, and even then, he's giving me links and past actions of Alex Novell to back up the claims that I should avoid this person, right? DMs of people, "Hey, you need to watch out for this guy." They never present that. They never show that, and it usually doesn't have anything to do that's related with my stuff. Andrew saw that this guy was looking under any rock and corner, knew that I was one of those rocks and corners, and said, "Hey, this guy might email you, whatever. He might come to you. He is not as nice as you initially think." And this is very clear to everybody now. Yeah, Alex Novell is a fucking piece of shit liar. He's two-faced. He'll act friendly, but as soon as you cross him, you're his worst enemy. Andrew fucking gave me more than appropriate receipts and warning about this type of bad faith actor, and I was able to avoid him. Now, that's a lot better of a methodology to approach this with, warning people off of other creators, problematic people and stuff. If you have there's a legitimate chance that they might try and contact you, and 2, you have the receipts of the problematic behavior you don't want to see me get sucked into, right? If you have that, great. I will probably listen to your concerns, and I will probably avoid that person, because that's what Andrew did. But if you don't have any if you cannot articulate a reason why I should avoid somebody, I'm probably going to just dismiss your claim. Where are we? Here we are.
But that said, he's a bad faith actor. I called it out, and it just is proving itself to this day. I was entirely right about that, about this guy, and sensing him out from the beginning, because as a lawyer, particularly, I know how to sniff out snakes, and this guy was a snake in the grass from the beginning. And I do not want to deal or work with any...
Which, Justin T, that's fine if there is more often than not solid reason for guilt by association, fine. If you can articulate those reasons, I will adhere to it. But if you can't, then no, you don't have one. And I'm not going to use my personal experiences, which have biased my fucking outlook on this, and go, "Yeah, no, I should believe this guilt by association," even though there should always more often not be solid reason for guilt by association. If they cannot articulate one of those reasons, I'm going to ignore them. And I'm not going to use my own personal experiences and getting burned in the past as like, well, even though he didn't articulate a reason, I'm still going to believe him. No, that's fucking retarded.
Anybody who is not honest and transparent. If I feel like anybody is not moving with honesty and transparency, I will not work with them. I won't interview with them. I won't interact with them, period. And that's my personal code. And no one can force me to break that. No matter how much they come after me,
Jackson,
I'm still not
welcome
going
to
to give them what they want. So he's actively chasing Hassan-affiliated haters to try to get clout. You can see this. He immediately pinned this Empanada dude. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but I know he's Hassan-affiliated. I don't watch him or whatever else. But he's Hassan-affiliated here.
Yeah, Bad Empanada sounds... That sounds like a... What is that? Hold on. Hold on. Content poop. Okay, that's pretty funny. I'm looking at his content real quick. Because he's seeing...
Hola, pipis.
This
¿Cómo
is how I know.
están?
Oh shit, he's got a fucking commercial in Spanish. Okay. So I know who he is. Okay, we're good. I just had to figure that out.
So he's trying to chase that clout, and you can also see that in his tags where he tags Hasanabi in literally the video tag. So he's trying to clout chase off that. He's trying to clout jack off of that. Now, a funny thing is, he doesn't even get his facts straight. For someone that is this serious documentarian, he is so obsessed with me, and I live so rent-free in this guy's head. He hates me so much that when he thinks Vitaly, he thought Vitaly was in Thailand. Well, bro, I hate to say, but it's the wrong country, bro.
Wasn't he in the Philippines?
Vitaly is in the Philippines.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah.
The Philippines is not Thailand. It's a different country.
No, it's not. I know. Look, I know a lot to. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna let Andrew talk. I want to pause to say I know he's gonna say the same thing I was gonna say.
Same to you because you got Philippines is not Thailand. It's a different country. I know it's all the same to you because you got a tough time understanding facts, but Vitaly is not in Thailand. So let's talk about the call. Now, this is the main quote-unquote evidence that he brings out against me. Now, he alleges this to come out of nowhere, right? And, it's because my phone number is out on the internet. It is so wild, and there's so much tinfoil to believe that somebody that I would have known a decade ago is following a nobody, nothing YouTube channel that's got no views and somehow decides to call you all out of nowhere. Yeah, no. The Occam's razor, and we're getting into Novell's razor here, but the easiest thing is this was the Somali Discord,
His
right?
sounds
now,
like Andrew is responding to Eva. No, I'm not meaning to do that.
Whether or not he knowingly did this with the Somali Discord or unknowingly was a victim of the Somali Discord, who would know? But the Somali Discord is certainly the group that organized this. And he generated this call, as we saw by the date, only after he knew my record was completely clean. So what he had to do was work backwards and try to create a story because he knew I have zero criminal record. My record's completely clean. The only thing is I was a victim. So literally trying to change a victim into a criminal. Insane stuff. And it's a fun fact of this. Now, while this is not confirmed, it is speculated by one Johnny Somali. You can check out his X account. But he did identify a member of the a female member of the Somali Discord with a history of fake calls. She's mentally ill. She's been seen in videos snorting meth. And she's a little bit of a fascist.
Oh, no. Race war, now what the fuck? Holy shit. This lady has lost her... I mean, is this just a picture you found, or is this like a picture of her? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out here.
Who has done this in the past, created several fake calls to frame people, libel people, etc. Now, that's not to say it's her. It may not be her, but all it is to say is there's no verification on who this person is. This person could be anybody, but all we know is, and all I know is, it's completely fake because the facts of this call do not line up with reality at all. Let's talk
Casey Tron.
about that. And by the way, this is the same group.
God, what
Remember,
the fuck?
Somali's Discord is very adept at creating fake stuff. They've created deep fakes all the time. They've
Yeah, they
created
are
fake
pretty good
calls
at
all
it.
the
I'm
time,
not gonna
fake
lie.
everything, fake X accounts, fake Discord. They do this all the time. It's just what they do.
Yeah, they do.
So, okay, let's get into the facts of the call. So this person decided, this is the transcript here that he tries to drop. So this person who's clearly reading off a script, right? Clearly, because they actually make an error with the age and the way they read things out is very perfected and very dry. But these facts
I'm
are all
sorry.
completely-
I'm sorry. I know you're probably gonna mention it, Andrew. I know. It just you know us liars. But here's the problem I have with like this transcript, right? Okay, so this guy Andrew, people know him now as Legal Mindset, but when I met him, he was just this kind of cocky lawyer in Orlando. Andrew, are you Better Call Saul? Are you Slippin' Jimmy, bro? No, how did you guys meet originally? Tinder. I was a junior in high school. 17, no, 16 when we matched, but I turned 17 not long after. Now, I might be wrong about this because I don't use Tinder. They don't allow minors and adults to match, right? We matched. I was 16 when we met. So what? Were you lying about your age on Tinder? What's going on there? Because I'm fairly certain that Tinder does not allow minors to match with fucking fully grown adults. No, and that's kind of the thing too. By the way, Ravenfire, why I said that? I can't imagine. I mean, yeah, they happen every once in a while, but like that first year or those early years of when you're a minor, dude, there is no cockiness. You are just fear and anxiety and terror and late nights of docker view and just like trust me, it's not a cocky time to be a young lawyer who just got their fucking license. Trust me.
They're wrong. First of all, I like the cocky lawyer part because that's completely not true. Alex Novell doesn't know this, but at that time, I was extremely nerdy, introverted, and engaged. Yes, the entire time for which he alleges and all this stuff you're going to see in 2017.
Wait, no way.
I was engaged. I was engaged to be married. I was completely monogamous. I would believe 100% that was going to work. Ultimately and sadly, that did not work. But there's ample proof of which I can't.
So at the time, right now, Andrew was fucking engaged during the time that these claims are being made. That's fucking crazy. But again, like yeah, people aren't cocky lawyers just out the back like that. Especially, I just don't see him doing that. He passed a bar, and I think if I remember correctly, it was like 2008, 2010, or something. But he's been a lawyer for a hot minute now, but like back then, no. I'm not oh my god, I'm not, look, it's just, wait, where's China Brands? I don't know what to tell
Show
you.
publicly because it would expose my ex-significant other, but there's ample stuff related to my wedding, engagement, etc. You know, the paperwork, the contract for the wedding venue, all that sort of stuff. But beyond that, I was nerd. I had an anime podcast, which is still out there with like 0 views. I was doing Game of Thrones cosplay, going to gaming conventions. I was a nerd. I was not a cocky lawyer at all, not even close. What they're doing is they're looking at my current personality and inferring that I'm quote unquote cocky now, which I wouldn't say I necessarily am, but inferring that back without knowing who I was at the time at all. But beyond that, this wouldn't make much sense because they're claiming, oh, you met on Tinder. Well, Tinder was 18 plus at age verification as of the year before. So that would be something logistically that wouldn't simply happen. But let's go beyond that. They say they reported in Gainesville to the cops revenge porn. So once again, the accusation accusing me of revenge porn, saying they reported it to the cops with links, screenshots, folders, all this stuff. Let me give you a little lesson on Sunshine Law. Alex Novell filed a Freedom of Information Act request. It's right here. Florida, we have something called Sunshine Law. And I'm a little bit of an expert in that because I represented cities and counties and special districts. In fact, it's on the public record all across of Florida.
Oh shit. Though Alex Novell just stepped into the biggest fucking power shit ever. Dude, first of all, you went Jesus Christ, this is a Florida lawyer. And one who's worked with counties and cities regarding sunshine laws specifically. And you think you're gonna fucking get a gotcha on Andrew, really?
Where I represented tons of special districts.
Jesus
I talk
Christ.
about Celebration, I talk about Reedy Creek, I talk about Bonnet Creek, all the other ones that I publicly represented for years and years and years and years and years. And I am a bit of an expert on that. And a bit of an expert on what you have to turn over. And the whole reason why we have the Florida Man meme, for those that don't know, is because Florida has to turn over everything. Mugshots, arrest records, stories, everything. So all these Florida Man stories come out because our sunshine laws let everything out. So if there was any arrest record, any mugshot, any photo, anything in Florida, it would come out. All of that would come out. So either this didn't happen or it didn't happen. There's no other way around that.
There's no way,
oh, but then no. That thing is a lie because any interaction with police would generate a police report. In fact, the police report which Alex Novell later relies upon for my victim statement, because once again, I was robbed, right? My victim statement report was actually taken by a bike cop. Now it's taken in first person because it's my report, but it's my report to the cop, and the cop took that information down and processed it, right?
Yeah.
So this is just the way Florida rolls. Every interaction with police is going to go into the record. It's Florida. Otherwise, it didn't happen.
And
that's why all of
our
court cases are televised, because we believe in transparency and openness in Florida.
Yeah,
I like it. It's great.
Look,
and that transparency.
Look, it's all the, go back to fucking Florida, you crocodile. No, I'm kidding. For all the things that I dislike about Florida, hurricanes, randomly tornadoes for some reason happen as well. The fact that it's fucking humid as shit. The fact that that Florida is really, really unfriendly to liveaboards and sailing in general. For all these things that I dislike about Florida, the best thing, especially legally for Florida, is their sunshine laws. The fact that everything's televised, that you can fucking like that, them holding to transparency, especially when it comes to the law, is something I deeply, deeply respect, and I'm willing to forgive Florida for most of all the other bullshit that crocodile-ridden fucking state has, just because of those sunshine laws, because those fucking things are amazing.
Transparency and openness shows that I got nothing on my record. Beyond that, and probably the craziest thing that needs to be talked about here is this crazy what if with this cell phone. So let's get into this crazy scenario, because this is absolutely the most nuts thing, and it needs to be completely debunked because it's ridiculous. He jumps in and says, but what if the cell phone had photos? His allegation is, I took this cell phone and somehow filed a police report to have it stolen or otherwise hide it, only for it to be found 4 days later. It makes no sense whatsoever. There is the same what if evidence. There's the same what if evidence to say, what if Alex Novell did 9/11? What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer? Right? What, these things have the same level of proof. That is an insane what if.
Sorry, no. There's absolutely no, you can't just say that. You can't, I don't care. Look, I don't normally do this. But that was so fucking funny. I'm making that a clip. I'm absolutely going to make that a clip. So everybody shut up real quick. I'm going to go back. I'm going to click record on this. Because I want to hear Andrew say, what if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer? That was the fucking best. I'm going to turn it up too.
Found 4 days later. It makes no sense whatsoever. There is the same what if evidence. There's the same what if evidence to say, what if Alex Novell did 9/11? What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer? Right? What, you know,
There,
these things.
perfect. I got it, guys. I got it. There we go. Okay, so look. Like, I'm just gonna do the quick play it. I'm just gonna play it real quick. Here, I have to rename it. Legal. There, now look, this is gonna be...
What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer?
Oh, it's so fucking good.
What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer?
It's perfectly clipped. Holy shit, I gotta send that to Andrew. Holy shit, oh my god. Oh, okay.
Things have the same level of proof. That is an insane what if, because not only is there no facts behind it, but it makes no sense even internally. If someone wanted to destroy a cell phone or hide a cell phone, just wipe the cell phone, or you toss it in the Everglades. You go out to Alligator Alcatraz, you toss it out there, and no one would ever find it. It doesn't even make sense within the story for someone trying to, quote unquote, hide a cell phone. But the reality is that the backpack that was taken from my car and the cell phone were actually my work cell phone, which was extremely limited and locked down. I couldn't do anything with that phone. It was a brick. It was only for my long distance meetings when I would have to drive to cities far across the way in Florida, and I didn't want to use my data or anything else. You know, so I would use this work phone. I had this work phone, and those were about maybe once or twice a month. So I really only had this limited use work phone that was pretty completely useless. Even my boss would message me on my personal phone, would text me on my personal phone, because they knew I never checked that phone. And my backpack was full of meeting minutes. Meeting minutes are meetings, government meeting, agenda, all the documents, which I would have in digital form as well, so I could read them on my phone. But I would have a physical copy because a lot of people wanted to see I was reading and making notes. And they didn't want me to look at my phone because they thought I might be playing a game or texting or not paying attention. So I would,
that's kind of a like common
always have
thing.
a paper copy and be fully focused on the meeting at the time, taking notes with the paper copies. Of course, they weren't necessary as we had backups. So what happened was, in reality, my car was broken into. I noticed my SunPass was gone, so I reported that and some other minor stuff that was taken. And I didn't even notice the backpack was gone because, frankly, I didn't care. These meetings didn't happen very often, and I really didn't care about that work phone or the useless paperwork. It was only when it was found 4 days later that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay, that got taken. That's fine.
That makes sense.
4 days later. I didn't need it at all during that period of time. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't anything that was important. So that what if is absolutely the biggest ridiculousness of all. And it's part of Novell's razor, what we call Novell's razor, where he takes this thing where I am the victim, I'm the person that was victimized, and changes into me being some 5-star criminal, which is absolutely insane. And it's insane because, well, there's no proof. Not only was he not able to prove anything, but at the end of the day, I've cleared global entry background check. I've cleared multiple visa background checks, and I'm still licensed in active good standing with the Florida bar. None of these things would be true if I had a speckle of a criminal record or anything where even this was a shade of true, right? It's completely and utterly untrue. So what the real story is here is what Meme Copium says in this response to Alex. He says, so you got to call 9 days before the first screening of the film and claim it was before you could investigate him. You claim he raped a 10-year-old in March. Oh yeah, he did that. He publicly did that. I have that saved. I have that documented. He said I was a human trafficker, and he said I committed SA on a 10-year-old in March with no evidence, nothing else, just pure defamation, pure hanging out with Somali and committing defamation, as Somali's Discord does, which he is still in. And have been a part of the Johnny Somali Discord where they're exposing fake evidence for smear campaigns. Sorry, but it looks like you workshopped this fake story to get after the FOIA came back with nothing to get Hassan to notice it. That's right. There's nothing for Papa Hassan to notice you and Senpai to give you the attention you wanted for your little fan film. So the real timeline is I discovered he's a bad actor. I turn him down. He threatens me, rages online, rages in the Somali Discord. He's accusing me of trafficking an essay live with Somali in March. In April, he asked Somali's inner circle for help creating dirt on me. He files the Freedom of Information Act request in April for everywhere I've lived, which, by the way, others that have been trying to work check on this have also filed and said, nope, Andrew's 100% clean. We can confirm. Only a victim.
Yeah, it's
Late
true,
June,
actually.
he realizes he has nothing, creates a fake narrative before the screening. And June 20th, he creates the defamatory recording, the fake recording. And then June 29th, he screens the fan film. So this is the real timeline that's out there. Now, there is some other defamation he spreads. This is kind of related to it. I want to cover it quickly. He does mention other places that I can't go to the U.S. This is something my other detractors have said. So I want to dismiss this in kind of one video and point back to it here for all the people that are haters. I go to the U.S. often. Here's me.
Like, look, that's him, but he was in the United States last year. I think maybe even this year. But I know for a fact last year he was in the state. So, like, why? Well, this is such a completely, like, easily verifiably false, like, claim to make. Again, Legal Bites, boom, there he is at Legal Bites' fucking wedding. With potentially a criminal, Ian Rocco the Bailey. I think that's what's his name? Woodworking and law? The wood guy. And look, there's Andrew in the back, fucking taller than everybody else by, what is that, 5 inches? Jesus Christ. Dude, Andrew, you are a fucking long man, let me tell you.
At the wedding of Legal Bites with a ton of other big creators that can all confirm I was there. Ian Ruckel's already posted under it. Uncivil's posted. Hey, you know, we all saw Andrew. He's real. We know he comes to the U.S. He's not banned from the U.S. And this is ridiculous narrative that people try to say, oh, I'm some criminal on the run. I come back to the U.S. every single year. I have global entry. I'm in good standing with the bar. Absolutely ridiculous. And here's my 2024
No, I was
flight.
never dating.
2024 flight. Here's my stream. So I returned to the Philippines. At that point, I was trying out the Philippines.
There's a
I was living there in
2024
June.
flight. Yeah, like I said last year.
That's my flight. And here I stream from the Alfond Inn in Orlando. So all the A-logs out there can go look up the Alfond Inn and look what it looks like. But I'm streaming from there. I actually mentioned in this one about the Rakeda law case turning. I talk about being in Orlando, and right around this time I'm also on several podcasts which can be confirmed that are in the US. So all of these facts together show, hey, look, I've been in the US recently. I've been in the US in 2021, 22, 23, 24. All of these months I've got nothing to hide. And beyond that, guys, as we're going to end here, the coverage is not going to stop. What Johnny Somali and Alex Novell want me to do is stop covering Johnny Somali. But despite their best effort and their malicious lies, I will continue to cover Ramsey Khalid Ismail, Johnny Somali, until his conviction. And I'll always give you the full and honest truth. Until next time.
Well, there it goes. Jeez, that was rapid. Hey, we didn't say that you could just go to, and I mean, we do have more legal mindset to react to, but like, I choose which ones to react to. You don't, algorithm. How dare you? This is a, Elon Ting's Twitter. Johnny Appeals Amber. It looks like it's a members-only stream from 2 years ago. Anyway, Drunken Moon, welcome to the chat. There you go. That is, Jesus Christ, took an hour and 18 minutes. I mean, I knew I had a lot to say about it, so you know. But, there you go. There is, largely the most defamatory, the most false, the most egregious claims made by Alex Novell against Andrew Esquire, verifiably easily debunked. And, Alex, you need to stop fucking around. You're playing with fire in a way that, like, honestly, it's actually a good thing that you keep going up against lawyers who don't find it worth the time to actually sue you. But I promise you, one day you're gonna step on the wrong lawyer's toes, and he's gonna go, you know what? It is not even worth about what I'll get back in damages. It's about shutting you the fuck up. So again, Alex Novell, stop playing with fire, cause you're gonna get burned. I'm surprised you haven't already. Honestly. But that being said, we have a few more things here to react to. Specifically, another 6.5 minute one, and then a 7.5-minute one. But we're going to get us a little update on the Somali creates a hit list ahead of trial. Fast facts. So apparently, this is posted just yesterday. But apparently, Johnny Somali and his little Discord team have actually started to put together a hit list of sorts. So we're gonna see what that is all about. And of course, before we do any of that, we have to remind you
God, he's so handsome.
there you go. Okay, here we go.
Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, and his Discord goons
Somali?
have created a hit list ahead of his trial coming up in just a few weeks. We're going to get that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, and we are following this Ramzi Khalid Ismail criminal saga from start to finish. And it has been a wild ride, and it will be a wild ride for the next possible 6 months, 8 months, year, as this trial is not just going to end in August. The August hearing is just one piece
I'm
of...
sorry, real quick. Oh, Lady C. Andrew is 5 inches taller, and oh wow, he's huge. I show my 5 inches, and I get kicked out of Applebee's.
Witness testimony. This thing is going to go for quite a long time, several months beyond this at the very least, very likely into 2026. And that is something that scares Johnny Somali. It scares him because every time there's a trial, every new month, this comes up again in the news cycle, and it gets worse and worse and worse for him as the facts pile on and as the charges pile on. Because almost every single month, he has had a new charge added. He started with 1 charge. He's up to 7, and we're not even done yet. And until there is a jury verdict, more can be added. More charges can indeed be added to the docket, including the Child Welfare Act, which has been refiled against him and is currently being investigated by police and then would in the future be passed to prosecutors after that police investigation. So he knows these things are real. He knows these things are coming, and he is scared. And because of that, they feel the need to take out any and all detractors. And they have tried this with myself. They've tried it very, very hard with myself by getting people to come after me, defame me, create fake profiles on X, YouTube, etc., Discord, and do all those sorts of things. But that hasn't worked. So they're moving on to other targets, people they see as weak links,
because I was pretty sure the Korean trial that Johnny is facing, it's a bench trial, isn't it? It's not a jury trial.
Want to try to attack the people covering the story to mute it down and to tamp down the level. And one of the main figures, at least on X, is Johnny Somali. That is an X account that has been covering this saga right along with my coverage, really giving a lot of clips, a lot of other commentary, a lot of stuff that's even outside of the legal scope, which sometimes I shy away from. But he's been covering and tracking this golden goblin, this dwarf, over in Seoul, and really not letting him get away with anything. And because of that, the folks on Discord have decided to target him. So we have a leak here from inside of the Discord. You have Demonic Somali, yet another Somali account, saying all those guys are using Johnny Somali, that's the X account, as their source. He should be the first one on the hit list. Now, to me, when I hear hit list, I immediately think this is threat of bodily harm. Now, they may try to defer and say, no, this is a digital hit list. We're coming after them digitally. Not that that makes it any better. Once again, understand these people are attacking someone not for just reasons or not for any other thing because they violate the TOS. They are indeed violating the terms of service by submitting false reports, and they're willing to use all methods to submit false reports to try to get people taken down and try to get people taken out. So you see here they continue on, and this actually is an important reply here. They're just going to continue stacking charges against Johnny. Everyone should report. See, that's where the truth is. The truth is they are scared of these charges coming against him, and they understand that more press more coverage, like my channel and like Johnny Somali on X and all the other people covering it, actually does lead to these charges being taken very seriously because people are aware of the social media presence. And the South Korean media will indeed pick up our coverage, translate it, and put it out there. And because of that,
which they've done.
They know that more can be stacked against him, and they are afraid for their dear leader, who is now deeply in hiding as he is finally realizing that there are consequences to...
Look. If Johnny really wants none of this public limelight attention, right? If he truly doesn't want any of this, you know what he does? What he's doing now. He shuts up and he fucking goes into hiding. Which it took him a long time to learn this lesson, but he clearly has learned it now. But creating a hit list is not gonna do it. If you want to stop being held accountable for your stupid ass actions, stop acting like a stupid ass.
His action. He's getting to the FO part of FAFO. But here we go. Of course, the Discord says they're BS charges. Just deport the man and move on. Of course, they wish they would do that. That's what they want from
that would
every
be
country.
easy.
They just want them to be deported because that's not a real consequence. That's literally letting him get away with all of his criminal activity. And then right down here, this is great. And this, I had to censor this, although I'm sure you guys can understand this. I have a friend with a Twitter bot that can mass report accounts. A couple ninjas will get virtually graped this weekend. So already saying they're going to submit false reports using a bot to mass report over this weekend. Now, mind you, these guys have already submitted fake profiles. They've already made fake claims. They've already tried to strike people.
Yeah, these guys have done just about anything under the sun that you can do.
They're not giving up. And this is something that they're going to continue to do as this thing goes on. But to me, what this signals is Johnny Somali and his Discord are desperate. They are flailing and they are trying to get anything to give any wins they can get before August 13th. And all of Somali and his fanboys, all of his supporters are trying to do their best to target verifiable and legitimate sources of information like myself, like Somali, that have been accurate and objective throughout this coverage of Johnny Somali specifically. They're trying to come after sources of information because they want it to be quiet. They want nobody to know what's going on in Seoul, South Korea. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, now, I'm not the only one covering it, although I do have some exclusive channels that other folks don't have. A lot of people are covering this. So even if you take out one person, there's so many other people that are going to cover this, so many other outlets that are going to cover it.
It's a
Korean
hydra
mainstream
of
media is going to cover it. So there's no way.
Like seriously, like even if you took out Andrew or like Mist or a Tozy or any other number of like genuinely large creators that are covering this. I mean, freaking Charlie, Moist Critical, Asmongold. These people have all made update videos just keeping up to date on what the fuck is going on with Johnny Somali. I saw one the other week from Charlie. And we're going, it's been a while since we've checked in on everybody's favorite nincompoop, you know, the way he talks. But, like, literally, like, this is being covered on such a level, it's fully Streisand affected, you're not getting rid of it, you're not getting rid of coverage, and you're not gonna stop it, even if somehow you manage to stop one or two channels.
That we're gonna let the Somali dwarf, Johnny Ramsey, win here. He's absolutely going to lose. But I stand with all the other creators that are trying to give it good reporting on this, objective reporting on this. And if there's anything I can do, I'll help them out. But I know what you guys can do. Let's go over there, like, share, and follow not just my video, but the accounts that are against Ramsey Khalid Ismail. Leaving likes, comments, and supporting those channels is the most you can do. So go out there and support your favorite channels that are fighting the dwarf. Until next time.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
There you go. Every time. It's so good every time. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we now have as well, moving right along, by the way, we're chugging out. We're thinking with portals, guys. But we are moving on to Disloyal Denim sacrifices Reddit and Discord mod. So we're gonna have to see what happens here. I have not been following the Ethan Klein lawsuits against Denims, Froken, and Caseytron, I believe, as well against a fourth member. One of the Stark Reddit mods has been identified. because he came out and like stream sniped fucking Ethan's stream like live and stuff. So like I don't know really. But what I do know is that Legal Mindset gave some advice. We'll call it advice. But he gave some advice and said the best possible advice that anybody could give Denims, Frogan, or Casey Tron is have one of them go, look, I'll settle, drop my charges, or whatever. I'll give you the H3 Reddit mod. I'll give you who code CPS if you leave me out of lawsuit and go after the other people. Again, basically it was, look, you're gonna want to protect yourself and cover your own ass. And it looks like, at least from the title, it looks like Denims has at least in part taken some of that advice into consideration. So let's see what happens specifically. So handsome.
As
man.
predicted, the disloyalty is already shining through in the
As
Ethan
predicted.
Klein lawsuits, with Denims throwing the Reddit and Discord mods under the bus immediately in one of her first court filings, sacrificing them to the legal court.
Did they ever figure out who sent the skulls? I think they might have. I'm not sure, though. Again, I have not been following this case.
Of the Ethan Klein lawsuit. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is Legal Minds, where we teach you to be your own judge. Already, we are having updates in this case. Now, we've had the multiple cases, obviously, Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron, and we're going to be following those bit by bit. But as I've said, in the legal world, in the legal jungle, it is every man or woman for themselves. Now, many people like to talk about, one for all for one. We're all in this together.
No,
we're all
there's no
part of a big community.
when it comes to like legal, like legality or litigation. Like 3 people have been brought like causes of action against them in court, and like we have Frogan, we have Casey Tron, and we have Denims. It's basically a fucking it's basically a battle royale between these 3 people. That's just the case. $5. Thank you so much, Dargon Eric. Just had it cut with some cream cheese spread. I'd love to share some, but we'll have to settle for some head pats. Oh, thank you so much for the head pats. In fact, we will do this too. We have ear wiggles. That's right. You get the ear wiggle hair pats. Okay, let's see here. Let's continue.
May be well and good in the realm of feelings or in the realm of streaming or whatever else, but once you're in the courtroom legally,
Just gonna get a
whether
chicken
you
dinner.
like it or not, these defendants are all in it for themselves. That's why
They have
each
to be.
defendant will need to have their own individual counsel, because ultimately their responsibility to defend themselves falls on solely them. They can't rely on these other people. And I know that maybe these Discord mods, these Reddit mods looked at Denims, looked at Casey Tron, looked at Frogan, and saw these massive legal funds. They saw all this money in those legal funds, and they thought that was going to go to help them as well. They thought that would help their case, that would help them fight back against what they want to fight back against. That's not happening at all, and we have receipts today showing that Denims has already done this. So in this court filing, in this case, of course, TED Entertainment, that's Ethan Klein.
Okay,
I'll just
Discovery
refer
Matter.
to TEI as Ethan
Joint
Klein,
stipulation,
California Corp
granting
against
plaintiff leave to
Alexandra
serve
Marwa
third-party
Saber,
subpoenas.
a.k.a. Denims, and the Does 1 through 10, which are the mods. So this is a joint stipulation granting plaintiff, that's Ethan, leave to serve third-party subpoenas prior to the Rule 26F conference. So what this is Ethan Klein wanted an expedited subpoena against these mods. So he's trying to fast-track subpoenaing these mods. And this is not something that is necessarily 100% granted all the time. There are things they could fight back. There are things they could push back against. And this isn't something they necessarily have to agree to. But when you look at it here, when you look at the actual document and you see what happened, these guys talked.
It's a
So
pretty short
obviously
complaint.
Ethan Klein
Response,
and the
rather.
attorneys for Denims had a conversation after Denims was served with a complaint. So Denims received the complaint. The complaint is the list of everything that Ethan Klein is alleging against Denims. They contacted Ethan Klein's lawyers to discuss preliminary matters related to the case.
To the present action, yep.
Here's the sauce. The counsel for Klein
here we go.
responded to the counsel for Denims and explained their intention to file an ex parte application for expedited discovery. So faster than normal discovery
To subpoena
against
Reddit. There we go. And Discord. There we
for
go.
obtaining-
Okay. There we go. Okay. Big T. This is probably where, like, I know a lot of lawyers have talked about it. Oh, Frosian Maximus missed earwiggles. Here's some in solidarity. Here's some, like, what's it called? Shit. I never had one. You know, where they give you, like, you didn't win, but they still give you an award. I forgot, a consolation. Here's some consolation wiggle. There you go. But, what I was saying is, lawyers I know, Andrew, uncivil law, petitioner and criminal, like these law tubers and myself have all shown that like people do not understand how deep discovery can go, which means that when Reddit and Discord are subpoenaed, even if they've deleted the server, you know, deleted all the logs, deleted all the server, whatever the fuck, it's still there. It's still being held for such an occasion. It's required by law that these entities hold on to these logs and stuff for a certain amount of time before they're actually allowed to shred it, delete it, and stuff like that. So, again, Discovery is going to reveal a lot here, and I think it's going to fuck the snark mods more than they realize. But, yeah, this is even worse now because Denims is basically saying... Denims is absolutely saying, hey, guess what? I agree. Like, we're against each other, but I agree that the plaintiff should absolutely go after and serve and indict these, well, not indict, but subpoena Reddit and Discord for these Stark mods and their information so they can be brought up against for these causes of action. So again, this is just, you now have the plaintiff and one of the respondents both in agreement that, hey, yeah, I think the Snark Reddit mods should be held to account. That's pretty bad. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Devil's Advocate, member for 1 month. Thank you so much. 123's in the chat to laugh at Our Lady of the Big Ears, utter mushmouth. I do have mushmouth. I do, it's true. I have to enunciate better. I gotta practice.
Personal information. So we're talking names, emails, whatever information that Reddit and Discord have, any information they have, they're going to turn it over of the H3 Snark mods prior to the conference of the council under Federal Rule Procedure 26F. The counsel for Denims responded to the counsel for Klein to set up a time to confer. They agreed to confer on July 1st. On July 1st, the counsel for the parties conducted a telephonic meet and confer regarding the ground. So they talked on July 1st. The counsel for Denims agreed to their request to seek expedited discovery from Reddit and Discord to obtain their personal identifying information, to name them in the complaint and serve them. They've agreed to enter into the joint stipulation to grant Klein leave to serve these subpoenas. So there is
what that means,
no objection.
Yeah, okay, so it's kind of restating it a few times, but basically it's saying, look, yeah, absolutely, go. This is one of the other respondents going, no, this thing that you can do right now, absolutely go and do it. That is what Denims lawyers are saying to Ethan's lawyers and to the courts. So again, absolutely throwing the Snark Reddit mods under the bus as hard as you possibly could. Like, I mean, she put some chutzpah behind that fucking throw.
From Denims whatsoever. So Denims, their counsel had the ability to object to this. They had the ability to fight back against this.
But they didn't.
Made a decision. They elected to say, we are not going to raise any defense on behalf of the Reddit or Discord mods. We're not going to defend them in any way.
They're on
We're
their
not
own.
going to push
Yeah, they're
back
on their own.
against this. We're not going to say, hey, let's wait till after we do this conference, which is when we would normally have discovery. Normally, discovery would happen later on, right? No. Let's let them get all of their personal identifying information. Let's let them make this happen now. And I think this may be surprising to a lot in that camp.
Again, people think that Discord doesn't keep logs, and in a way they don't. But I can show you something, right? Here, let me show you something. I'm going to do something that shows you that it is possible, despite deleting a log, despite deleting a message, right? If we're going to do this in the form of a screenshot, I'm going to send this to a friend here. Okay, so I know I did. I threw a, you know what? My manager, Radine Bull, is rubbing off on me or something. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys something here that shows at least, in practice what I'm talking about. So. Just trying to do this in a way that I can actually... Okay. So I'm gonna upload it, doesn't matter the picture really. It's releasing the file. You know what? We're gonna do this one. Little judge. Right? Okay, so. I'm gonna just, screenshot of this. Actually, no, I could do this. Okay, guys. You can see the picture, right? We all see this. Copy link. I'm copying the link. Now then, I'm deleting the picture. The picture's now gone. I've deleted it. The link should be gone as well, right? But... And again, I'm waiting like a full minute here. And this is a demonstrable, so just watch. Bam, bam, and there it is, look at that. Okay, so it's been a good 60 minutes. In fact, you know what, I'm gonna exit out of this. Boom, do it one more time, wait. I'm looking at the time. I'm waiting for the top of the minute. Do. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. I'm charging my attack. Okay, so. Clicky in the ticky. Okay, so. You guys saw what I had done. And yet, I just could. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that. New tab, even. A brand new fucking tab so you can see no shenanigans. That's the wrong one. Clicky. Here we go. Again, that message has been deleted for a hot minute. But I paste in the link because I saved the link, and despite the fact that this has been deleted and therefore should be gone from Discord servers, right? It's still here. It's still accessible because I have the specific link. Now, maybe this catch is deleted after 24 hours or whatever, but I'm showing you that yes, even after deleting messages and after deleting pictures and deleting anything in a Discord server or a private chat, it is still kept for some measurable amount of time. I am willing to argue that in line with many laws, both international and within the United States, they have to keep these logs for a certain amount of time before actually dumping them. Because in the event that the court subpoenas them for these logs, they need to be able to provide them. So again, look, you absolutely can And Discord does keep things after you've deleted them, your side. Let's continue.
In the Denims camp or in the mod camp or etc., whatever that is, who thought they were going to be this one big team fighting against the evil villain Ethan Klein. That's not how it's working. How this is going to look is more like a sinking ship. It's more like a ship that just took a full broadside from the USS Ethan Klein. It's taking on water, it's going down, and they are fighting over the one leaky lifeboat off of the ship. Not to mention that leaky lifeboat is likely going to be captured by Ethan Klein in the end. It's every man and woman for themselves. And as we see this lawsuit proceed, you're only going to see more of this. You're only going to see more instances where these parties are at odds with each other, where they're pointing the finger at each other, where they're saying, hey, this person did this. No, this person did this. This is when the information is going to really come out. This is how the parties break apart. They fight when they get pressure on one party. The other ones are going to break, because if one mod, for example, says, hey, I don't want anything to do with this, I want to get out of this, they try to bargain with Ethan Klein, they try to get some sort of settlement with Ethan Klein. This is when the knives come out. This is when people start stabbing the others in the back willingly, just to try to escape this, just to try to get out of this. And this is going to escalate as we go into Discovery. We haven't even got full communications yet, full emails, full messages. Once those things come out, it's only going to get worse, because Discovery will go deeper and deeper and deeper into the communications between those parties. So as this goes forward, I expect it to be very bloody, very messy, and I certainly do expect that some of these mods are going to jump ship, and some of the mods are also going to point fingers back at the content creators, back at Denims, back at Frogan, back at Casey.
And that's another thing that, like, that's what these content creators are going to have to be careful about. Because whatever they might have encouraged or egged on, or like even asked the Reddit mods to accomplish themselves, that's something the Reddit mods can provide and go, no, look, they actually asked us to do this. So again, like it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be as close to legal blood sports as we get.
At other content creators. It's possible if other ones were involved here. We mentioned Sean the Black, and of course there's the great white whale of Hassan, right? That Captain Ahab Klein is kind of aiming for there. It is possible, very possible, that they could point fingers that direction as well. And that's when things get more interesting, because as we're seeing now, Ethan Klein is fully open to filing new lawsuits, as he's filed a new lawsuit today, or thinking about filing a new lawsuit today against another person on Twitter, on X. We can only hope to see more interesting things as this goes on. But of course, we'll cover all of it on this channel. Until next time.
Bing, is
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Yes, thank you. Every time. Oh God, every time. It's so funny. No, stop. There we go. Okay, we got it. So, we have two more. No, legal mindset, I swear to God, I'm not playing you yet until I say. He tries to freaking just play by himself. I don't even know how it happens. Okay, there we go. So, the next one, this is another one that I have not been looking at. I kind of dismissed as like, oh, well, fuck, it's Nintendo. They're gonna fucking win because they're goddamn Nintendo, right? Drunken Moon, I'll have to help you after my stream. I think I know what your problem is, though, because you're trying to do the hotspot stuff. There's a couple commands I'll have to give you. Anyway, this one is called Pokemon Losing Palworld Lawsuit. So now this is very interesting to me, because again, like, it's Nintendo. Nintendo's had like pretty much a 100% freaking success rate whenever they brought a cause of action against another company. It cannot stop the long man. Yes, true. I meant more of, okay, well, waiting. What's the other sentence? Okay, we're gonna play on this and refocus, because I'm locked out of my RV because I DC'd. Oh my God, damn it. Okay, I'll have to fix that later. Again. What do people... Hey, he was streaming. Let me go on the server and create a bug. I know you didn't do it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Let me fucking refocus here. My ADHD here is like gonna fucking... You just threw a metaphorical peg in this entire bicycle. Okay, let's see here. Pokemon losing Palworld lawsuit. That's right, that's where we were.
Pokemon is losing their legal battle with Palworld, according to what we can take from the latest new update in their case with the information we have gleaned. We're to get into that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, breaking down these legal issues all over the world. And today we have the fascinating case of Pokemon versus Palworld. This is something that I've actually covered on previous streams. I've covered this in the past. But once again, with these big lawsuits, they often don't have updates.
Passive. I'm so hard to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that.
While. And to give you guys a little bit of background on Pokemon versus Palworld, well, unless you live under a rock, you know about Pokemon, which is obviously a massive franchise, and it's owned between Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. And then you've got Palworld, which is owned by Pocket Pair, and it is really focused on PC. Now, this is very important because one of the big things overall for Pokemon is they've been real console let's say loyalists, or you might even say zealots for the consoles. They really don't believe in PC, and they've been pretty hardcore in keeping anything Pokemon-like from entering the PC sphere, which is why they always kind of had an eye on Palworld, and one of the reasons why they took this shot. But the background is Nintendo and Pokemon Company, they filed a case for patent infringement against Palworld Pocket Pair September 18, 2024. Now, this is very, very important, and a lot of people miss the ball here. A lot of people think it's copyright. They think it's the ideas or the designs. This is not about the specific designs, and this is not about the ideas. This
is about specific mechanics. Specifically when it comes to video game patents, you have stuff like let me think of a popular example. It's actually, you know what, Nintendo's action of throwing a Pokeball to hit a Pokemon to capture it, right? That mechanic, that aspect, everything about that is what the patent is. So this is part of why Palworld had to change how you could catch a Pal, because it was too similar to a mechanic that Nintendo owned in the video game sphere.
This is about the patents. So Nintendo filed these patents and is claiming infringement of certain very specific patents. And that's a really narrowly focused piece of litigation.
Yes, they patented
and now they're claiming they violate, obviously, several patents, not just one. And Nintendo wants an injunction to stop the sale of Palworld and monetary damages. So pretty much to kill the game. So to kill the game and recoup any money that Pocket Pair, Palworld made from the game. That's pretty much, that's very scary, because obviously you can see the consequence for other game companies, smaller game companies. If Nintendo is allowed to put down Palworld, there will never be, I think at least for a while, there won't be anything that comes close or near Pokemon. But we've got some updates here. So obviously, some of the patents that people talked about, one of the most obvious is the catching mechanic with the ball. That's one of the things that Pokemon included in their lawsuit as an infringing patent. However, Palworld has a defense. Palworld's defense is that these patents were never infringed in the first place. They argue that, not only did they not infringe the patents, but the patents themselves are likely not even valid. If you look at the validity of these patents, some of them are ambiguous. They're kind of too broad. They're not in any way violating them on a technical basis. It's not something they have kind of technical exclusivity over, and they're violating that. So that's Palworld's defense.
What I love is this last one. I know he hasn't gotten to it yet. But Palworld also changed mechanics to frustrate any good faith US infringement claim. So I actually just talked about one of those mechanics that they changed, which was how you capture a PAL. They changed that, and it shows that Palworld is operating in good faith to maintain compliance with the patent in a way that it looks favorable for Palworld to do that. So honestly, that was a great move of Palworld to do that, to change gliding and to change how you catch a PAL. But the fact that they made those changes just made it so much more impossible for Nintendo to go, well, no, they're doing this on purpose and they're doing this to... No, they're actually actively working with you. And where they see something that might be infringing, they're actually willing to change and play ball. This is something the court loves to see.
They've been pretty consistent on that. And the other thing they've done, and which is brilliant, is they've changed the mechanics. And what this does is, while Palworld and Pokemon, both Japanese companies, may have a stronger case, Nintendo may have a stronger case in Japan under Japanese law, under US law, and mind you, the majority of the users for Palworld are in the United States. That's really what Nintendo wants, is to get them hit in the United States. Changing those mechanics is frustrating what's called a good faith basis claim in U.S. courts under U.S. copyright law. So by Palworld making those decisions to change things, to modify certain mechanics, that actually is frustrating them in the U.S. I know a lot of people think Palworld was backing down, but they actually were being smart there. They were playing the long game. They're saying, hey, they're attacking us and they want our U.S. customers. Look, if it ended up a situation where Palworld was banned in Japan, that really wouldn't hurt their overall market. If they could still go to the US, Europe, Canada, everywhere else in the world, it's not really going to matter too much. The Japanese domestic market isn't going to make or break Palworld. However, the US would. True. The US certainly would.
God,
so they frustrated them on that
it absolutely
side.
Will.
So Pokemon had to counter that because now their claims, their patent infringement claims are weak in their primary market. So they're saying, okay, let's try to change something up. Because, of course, Nintendo has a massive legal team, and they have been known, their tactic is to sue people until they're penniless, to go after them with every speck of their legal resources to crush them. Very similar to Disney and other very, very large corporations that are kind of the industry leaders. They don't go after Yu-Gi-Oh!
In the same way that they don't go after Digimon. The fact of the matter is, the concept of pocket monsters or capturing monsters, using monsters in battle, stuff like that, existing even beyond the digital mediums, but in a form of a trading card game, all three of these have massive TCGs in them. You know, we're talking Yu-Gi-Oh, we're talking Digimon, we're talking all these.
In their specific areas. So the mechanic they specifically modified is actually, it's kind of related to the gliding mechanic, but it's smooth switching of writing objects. So they went to the Japanese patent office recently and they changed the patent language regarding smooth switching of writing objects. Now, it's very interesting because they didn't make it more clear. They actually added a bunch of legal gobbledygook. We call it legalese, right? They just added some...
Oh, no. I see what happened. So, now I didn't even know that you could modify a patent mid-litigation. But apparently you can. So it's extremely rare to modify patents mid-litigation unless... when he's going to move on to that, but that's a big one. Adding 26 sentences of legalese, including ambiguous words like even when, is insane because, again, usually when you change up a patent, change the wording and stuff like that, it's to narrow the scope, it's never to broaden. In fact, I think we were talking about this on Lautism. By the way, on oh shit, was it Wednesdays? Yes, but you can't in the United States, which means that their main target to stop Palworld from operating in the United States, this is going to be a problem for the United States side of this litigation. So, and here's the thing, though, but it is extremely rare to modify patents mid-litigation unless you modify it to narrow the scope of the patent. You can't modify it to broaden the scope of the patent. And if that's what they've done, they fucked up bad. Anyway, let's have him say the things because that's just a guess on my part.
Some kind of extra superfluous language, including very ambiguous words like even when, which isn't really used in, especially in patent drafting. I rarely ever use even when in contract drafting. It's just something that you really don't use because there's other ways you can say things that creates more ambiguity. Now, why would they do this? Well, it's extremely rare to modify your patents, particularly mid-litigation. It's not something you would normally do. It's a very odd move. Because if you're modifying your patent, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Shock Pikachu face. Nintendo is not doing good. Nintendo is actually thinking they're going to take the L. So they realize they not only have a weak case in the US due to the modifications, but they may actually lose their patents. Their patents could be declared invalid. So because of that risk, they're trying to throw out some confusion, some ambiguity, some delay. This is something very common in general as a litigation tactic, particularly if you have a lot of resources. What you try to do is win the procedural victory. Sometimes, let's say the smaller party has justice on their side. We're going to call that the substance of the law. The heart of the law is on the side of the small guy. It's on the side of the underdog. But the big guy has something the small guy doesn't have, and that's money. And when you've got money, you can win a procedural victory. Often this happens by dragging out litigation so long, it becomes costly for the person on the other side, the smaller party, and therefore they have to give up because they're literally being drained dry by litigation and they cannot do it any longer. And that's what Pokemon is doing here. Now, I do think that Palworld so far has seen that they have the wherewithal to get through this and not try to settle it out or get something, you know, where they'd be in a bad position. I think Palworld may be able to fight this, but this is really bad news showing Nintendo doing this. It is an obvious intimidation tactic against small developers, indie developers, showing that Nintendo is committed to litigation and they will sue you.
This might pass in the Japanese side of the litigation, right? But this absolutely is not going to... It's not going to fly on the United States side of things. Any court's going to look at this and go, oh, gross, fuck you. You're using us for your own gain. Fuck that. And they will absolutely, declare your patents invalid or other methods to punish that type of malicious litigation.
You all the way to Johto, right? If they feel like you are coming even close to anything Pokemon or their market share, or even going on PC with something that's Pokemon-esque, it's really something that they're flexing, saying, hey, look, small creators, indie devs, we will sue you, we will drain you, we will fight this out. You may not be a Palworld. Maybe Palworld will win, and this is actually looking like Palworld may very well win this. But small guys will still crush you. So Nintendo being Nintendo, very interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. Okay,
so
I
let's
have something to show you guys. No. God damn it. Legal mindset, I swear to God. Okay, there. I turned the autoplay off. I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay, so we have some stuff to show you guys. This is Mizu's commission for autism. I'm gonna show you both that we have here, but you guys have to know your own background music. It. Bada bing, bada boom. We're in a pirate ship. Okay, they could just share the market and not alienate the customers, but no. Enter really wants you to watch his next video. What? Oh yeah, he does, yeah. Nintendo used confusion. It worked on themselves. Digimon Ray, they have no claim on court in any of this besides name trademarks and ball capture mechanics. That's YouTube, not our long look at. Yeah, I know it is. Okay, so we have two downloads here. So this is the commission. Oh God, look at that! It's so good. It's so good. This is the autism logo. As you can see, it's very awesome. Very awesome. Very awesome. You have the one side, which is Mizu's side, very puddly. You have the skills of justice and a gavel. And then the tism here, you have kind of like on the eye, if you notice on the top of the eye, you have little things going down. For me. And then you have like a little bit of like the swirliness of my hairstyle in the S and the M. So this is autism. Which again is every Wednesday, I believe, that we go over stuff. And then here is the actual logo, which is even cooler. You have an Eva gavel. Coming down on a puddle. So there it is, guys. I hope you guys like it. Let us know, both me and Mizu, let us know how you like the new autism stuff. So that being said, well, you guys look at that and everything. I'm going to switch over to the final video for today. Pirate software Twitch fraud allegations. So you guys remember when we were actually on MommaOcco stream, I believe. Or was it under the T? And was it Lautis? Oh my god, I'm doing so many collabs, I'm forgetting. But we were covering no, we reacted, that's right, it was MommaOcco stream. We were reacting to something and I was sent a DM by somebody who had the Kronos DM. And I said that, okay, so this is, not only is this perhaps a violation of Twitch's TOS, depending on like Thor's contract and stuff like that, like this could be, this could absolutely bring a cause of action against pirate software, or even against this mod. Again, there's a lot to look into here, but I said this could be a problem for Thor, like big time. And I said as well that another thing about Thor, and I said this kind of like in my Discord this morning, that I said, okay, so Thor is going to react in only a couple ways when he sees this, because what I had mentioned is I was talking about Thor's state of mind and like how he approaches things. He is he's won awards and stuff. Like people might think his coding is shit and stuff. That's fine. Oh Jesus. I'll be back. We should be back. Okay, we're back. Okay. Pirate software fucking... He tried to take us down. So what? Okay, where was I when I went out? When I like backed out? Like, what was I saying? We back, baby. Yes, Thor replied on stream to this. Yeet account shared it. Yes. What's his face? The best Remy showed me, and he said you called it. So we're going to view his response to these claims first, and then we're going to watch Illegal Mindset's stop. But again, remember what I said. I said initially when I saw this, I said he is going to dismiss this as either like it's going to be a lot of like technicality is what he's going to do. So let's get off the background music and play his response. Excuse me.
Like, that's been a public thing forever. I think I even talked about it on there. That's against TOS, though? No, it is not against TOS. It is absolutely not against TOS to have somebody use their own money to buy subs and bits for the channel if they want to. That in no way was triggered by me, nor was he compensated for that or reimbursed for it. That is not against TOS. So it's a shit joke at this point. Just because you heard it on YouTube doesn't mean it is. Yeah. In fact, I guarantee that you could go to thousands and thousands of communities across this entire platform and find lots of different moderators supporting the stream. Do you know why? Because moderators are generally the first fans of the stream. That is how that works in every community on this platform. And people somehow don't understand that because you're blinded by your dislike of me. And I understand that you're upset at me, but you have to stop making shit up to be mad about. It's stupid at this point.
Okay, so here's the problem with this. Because everything that he said is technically true. In fact, I would dare say that his statement about Mons being the first fans of a stream is true even with me. Meteor, JP Ravenfire, Akakun, many of my moderators have been fans of mine and watchers of mine since before I actually started streaming on YouTube. So, again, that is accurate, and that's not the issue. The issue, and we're going to see the issue in a second, is that he didn't just buy bits to support your hype train and to support your train. Support your goal. But he also contributed bits and stuff on an alternative account to allow the hype train to continue using multiple accounts, which is a violation of terms of service. So, we're going to now, with that in book, and then I called it. A lot of like half-truths and a lot of statements that like, oh, no, that's not against terms of service because I did it this way. And it's like, okay, yes, but you also did this other part that you're not talking about. That we know that you know about because the DMs are him telling you that he's doing this and you're not telling him, no, don't do that. That's, one, unethical, and two, against Twitch's TOS. So again, you were at the very least complicit in his stated intent to freaking give you bits on an alternative account that wasn't his mod account to continue your hype train. So let's see that, shall we? Actually, you know what? No, we got a clip for this. I got a clip for this. Hold on, we got this. I just downloaded it for you guys.
Everyone asks me, how do I eat food? Well, there's a few different ways to eat food, but the question you should be asking isn't how do I eat food? It's what foods am I eating? Because once you answer that question, you will learn how to eat food. Now in America, we use 3 instruments to eat food: a fork, a knife, and a spoon. Depending on the food that you are eating, you will use one or a combination of these instruments. For example, if I'm having a steak, then I will be using a fork and a knife. I will use the fork to hold down the solid food, and I will use a knife to cut the solid food. A spoon will not be the effective method of eating a steak since it is not designed for eating solid foods. However, if I'm having cake for dessert, then I can use either a fork or a spoon since the cake is soft. A knife will not be the choice here. Now, although we do use forks, knives, and spoons, you can eat some foods with your hands. Most sandwiches, burgers, and wraps are designed for the consumer to hold them while eating. In this case, instead of using the utensils, just use your hands to insert the food in your mouth and begin chewing in order to consume the food.
I'm sorry, it's just so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny to me, my god. It's such a good impression. Like, he's got the cadence and everything down. It's so fucking good. Okay, so, anyway. We have his response to the allegations. Let's see the legal coverage and implications that these allegations brought up against Pirate Software and his mod Kronos. Let us see what such legal implications there might be. Woman, you are killing brain cells. You know what? I'm about to kill you and Product Zomboid. Yeah, that's right. Fucking come at me. Okay, let's do this. So handsome. Last legal mindset video.
Pirate Software has opened the door to fraud allegations after a leaked DM shows some controversial behavior regarding his mod, bit donations, hype trains, and we're going to get into that today on The Legal Mindset. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney in this Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge in a fast facts format, bringing you the quick and dirty version of the latest news. So Pirate Software has been in the internet news over the past, 3, 4, 5, 6 months for various things that he has been doing. But now we have him actually getting caught in something where there could be real legal liability. Now, to be very clear, we are not addressing the drama today. So we're not going to talk about how he got his party killed in WoW and how he failed to even give a basic apology and say, hey, look, listen, this was really my fault. I could have done more here, not try to deflect it, not try to blame everybody equally, but just take responsibility and own up. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about any of the fig tree allegations and whatever he did with a ferret. That's between him and the ferret. We're also not talking about Stop Killing Games, although we did talk about.
Wow. Okay, so, holy shit. Wow, okay, so, that was a lot. That was a lot. Andrew, that was a lot. Holy shit. We gotta go back. I'm sorry, we gotta go back, because what's so funny is, like, we're not gonna think, this is, okay. This shows you that Andrew is, and always will be, a nerd. And you know why? Because it shows that Andrew's always been aware of the sphere, right? He's always been aware of, like, the going-ons of the nerd realm, right? And the fact that he knew all of that so well and so freaking concisely means that, yeah, he doesn't usually talk about that stuff because it's not his content niche. He talks about the legal aspects of things, but it shows you in just, like, what was that? In, like, yeah, in, like, less than a minute, it shows you that, hey, he's fully aware of all the things that this guy has been caught up on. But he doesn't talk about them because up until recently, they haven't had legal implications.
We are not addressing the drama today, so we're not going to talk about how he got his party killed in WoW and how he failed to even give a basic apology and say, hey, look, listen, this was really my fault. I could have done more here, not try to deflect it, not try to blame everybody equally, but just take responsibility and own up. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about any of the fig tree allegations and whatever he did with a ferret. That's between him and the ferret. We're also not talking about Stop Killing Games, although we did talk about that on a previous episode, and you can tune back and catch my Stop Killing Games commentary. However, one thing we are going to talk about is this fall in subs, because a lot of this does have to do with the fact that Pirate Software, due to all of these controversies, is hemorrhaging subs. And when you are hemorrhaging subs, and I'll bring this up again at the end, this opens you up to a lot of potential problems from people that used to be supporters. So obviously, in the over 104,000 people as of date over the last just 30 days, losing over 104K followers, amongst those certainly are some whales, some people that donated a lot to his channel and now feel really, really hurt. We feel betrayed by Pirate Software. And whenever you have that happen, not only are you going to have more people paying attention to your channel, more people looking for you to make mistakes, more people logging what you're doing, but you're also increasing potential liability, because one of those people, any of those people that donated a lot, that felt they gave a lot, might have claim or cause if you end up slipping up and they felt misled, and that might generate some sort of cause of action. And that's something we might have here today. So let's get into it. What happened? So Pirate Software, while live, accidentally showed a DM with his moderator. That DM shows that his mod was purchasing bits to extend Pirate's hype train. Now, that's a Twitch thing, and wherever you're on YouTube, we only have hype trains, and you guys smashing the like button and commenting on the video, which is always appreciated. But
you heard him. Smash. Like, comment. Smash. Like, comment. Hype train support. Okay, there we go. Seriously though, do those things. And by the way, I want everyone to pay attention to something, right? Because this time, last month, Andrew was at 260,000 subscribers. Over the last 2 to 3 weeks, okay? 2 to 3 weeks. He has gone up a total of 160,000. He's gone up 160,000 subscribers, guys. Seriously, he is fucking blowing up right now. Help him continue to blow up. I do my things when I do them. So don't you come at me, bro.
But that's a particular mechanism at Twitch, and Pirate Software has actually been known for breaking that record repeatedly. In fact, only recently, I believe the VTuber Vidal, Neurosama over there, beat his record.
Shout out to Vidal.
Previously, he'd been setting records as related to this hype train. So it's something that, you know, as a channel, if you're setting records, you're typically pretty proud of that. Now, it appears his DM, the DM with his moderator, it appears his DM was purchasing bits to extend Pirate's hype train. Now, by and in and of itself, and we're going to see that with the terms of service, etc., that probably wouldn't be a problem if the moderator was doing that on their moderator account, right? And the moderator was just as a moderator going and donating those bits. However, it was beyond just the moderator doing it. The moderator was donating them not with their main account, but with an alt account, which the mod made Pirate aware of, and which presented itself not as the mod, but as a friend of the mod, as a separate person who was not the mod, which is not true. We're going to see that right today. So I'm going to pull up the actual footage for this. Of course, if you want to catch the full analysis, right, the full breakdown, you can always catch the full version on my live. So here is Pirate Software, and this is the moment in which he was caught in 4K showing the DM. So here's him during gameplay.
I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What?
Okay, so here's where he pulls it up.
Thank you so much for the gift of Demi.
Screenshot. We're going to go into it. I'm going to read it through, but here's the screenshot, and you can see how quickly he's going to click away from this. He's just going to try to clear this out because obviously this does not look good for him.
So this is him pulling it up on stream here, and I'll just go ahead and let the rest of it play, as you guys will see that this is indeed Pirate Software. You can see his messages between Kronos, the ones that we were just showing you, and then you're going to watch.
So you can see he's got it up here. He's going to click away, right? He clicks away pretty quickly, right, to get over here. And by the way, another thing, big credit to Quinn Theo. I'm going to tag his video in the video below for bringing this up and for making this presentation and kind of collecting this together. But in that screenshot,
I didn't know. Okay, so here's a funny thing, because I was sent the screenshot, right? Give me a second. I have a monster I just opened up. So hold on. Oh, that's yummy. Okay, so crap, what was I saying?
Presentation and kind of collecting this together. But
oh yeah, that's right. So I was sent the screenshot, which had the Discord logs. I had always wondered how those logs had leaked. To find out now, that it was actually Pirate Software who accidentally leaked them on stream and just clicked off real quick is even more hilarious, because the speed at which he clicks off is the speed at which he realizes he fucked up.
But in that screenshot, we have some pretty damning proof that he was talking with the moderator in order to engage in this behavior. So let's look at this here. I'm going to read through this for you guys so you get it. So Pirate Software says, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. So what he's talking about is, what is the most efficient way for you to buy these bits and then extend the hype train? And the return would imply that he's going to get money back, that he's going to get reimbursed. So that implies that as this moderator is donating, Pirate Software is going to pay him back for what he gets. So it's going to be returned to him. So he's going to get, as Pirate Software says, like an 82% return. See, T3s might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought it? He says, I've done 100 T1s on my personal, ready to do 40 T3s on my alt. Can do bits instead or both. Did 50K bits at 20 seconds left. So saying he extended the hype train with 50K bits when there were 20 seconds left. Okay, what is the alt? Serendipitous Bean. Remember that name? Serendipitous Bean is going to come up. Where's the beef? And then he goes on to say, didn't mention this to the mods either. Now the challenge is to clear the queue. The queue is referring to his kind of backup TTS queue, which he has to clear or it's donated to charity. But the more important thing is this Serendipitous Bean. And here's this profile here and this information courtesy of Guy on Twitter. So thank you, Guy. This was the description here of Serendipitous Bean. IRL friend of Kronos.
Yep, here it
Kronos
is. Oh
is
my
the main...
god. Okay, holy shit. Okay, I didn't know we had this. Holy shit, are you kidding me? IRL friend of Kronos, and excited that they are now free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for people here. Oh my god. Look, this is... Oh no, no. Oh no. Look, I imagine that there are people, creators and such, who do this, quite a bit, right? I mean, I know that like Twitch has a botting issue, and so does or so did Kick at one point. I don't know if they have one now, but like everybody has their own ways of extending hype trains, getting viewership up and stuff like that, and it's not in line with terms of service, right? But to be caught in 4K on your own stream, showing the screenshots that point that no, you're not a friend of Kronos. You are Kronos, and you are misrepresenting and misstating to... Yeah, this is bad. This is just bad. Superior Bob, welcome to the chat. If you're not on a Windows 10 Plus version, where OBS can use Windows 10 Capture, is sometimes a requirement. Oh, not doing bad things to make it easy to not accidentally document you did a bad thing. Yep.
Moderator. And excited that they are free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for the people here. There aren't many cool and supportive streamers left.
Say, I'm sorry, I didn't even I didn't even fucking think about that aspect of him just role-playing. Like, he didn't need to do this. Like, he could have put anything here, right? He could have been like, oh, love what you do, blah, 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 fucking, it could have been anything, right? But no, instead he chooses to roleplay as his own best friend. Oh shit, oh my fucking god. Oh, that, at the level that Pirate is at, Pirate may have a contact that has a clause that supersedes the TOS as written. It's possible, but I will also say that when it comes with Twitch partners and stuff like that with their contract, violation of the terms of service also constitutes a breach of contract. And if it's a severe enough breach of contract, then Twitch could actually sue Thor for breach of contract over this terms of service violation. Okay, so while it might be in his contract that there's a clause that supersedes the TOS as written, it's also possible that the TOS as written is enough here and the violation is enough here to give a cause of action from Twitch against Kronos, Thor, or both of them.
Once they get big like this, stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards. So this person is clear.
He's full on roleplay. He's full on. Ben sends their regards. Dude, you're Ben, dude. What are you doing? Oh. I feel bad for him. I feel like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, and he texts himself on another number to show his friends that it's like, oh, hey, look, see, I have a girlfriend. This is her. It's like, no, it's you, dude. What are you doing? Why? Oh. This is just sad.
Clearly painting themselves as not Kronos, not the moderator, but a separate IRL friend of this moderator, which is extremely deceptive, if you ask me. Now,
that's very deceptive.
How does this convert to a legal issue? Well, there's 3 potential legal questions, and these were brought up also by Quintheo in his very good video, which once again, I'm going to link in the comment below. He brought up the first 2. I'm introducing a third one here. So the first one is Twitch terms of service. Then we have federal law violations and state law violations. So let's look at
no, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. It's any okay. So I have to I was thinking from the side of like civil litigation, like recourse that could be done on like the behalf of people who donated, who felt betrayed, who were misled and stuff like that. But he said that there are federal law and state law violations to consider here, and I didn't even think about that. So I'm very interested here to dive into this, because I'm wondering what, I mean, maybe fraud in terms of financial statements? I'm not, we're gonna have to look into this. Like, here's the thing, Andrew's a far more learned lawyer than I, and he's a corporate lawyer too. He's done like contracts law and stuff with a big corporation, so he knows this kind of stuff way more than I do, and he knows how, like, as partners, as contracted partners with the company, with Twitch. Yeah, absolutely. There might be something here that I didn't even know about.
First, then we have federal law violations and state law violations. So let's look at the Twitch terms of service. So obviously, Twitch has a terms of service. There's many things you can and cannot do, but one thing they have is called a bit acceptable use policy. So you're supposed to use bits in a certain way. You're supposed to behave like a normal contributor and not do certain impermissible things. Like, for example, you can't solicit bits in exchange for money or donations. That's one thing. You can't provide items or services that are associated with monetary value in exchange for bits. And a big thing here, and this is one that I think he has to really watch out for, is selling, offering to sell, trading, bartering, or transferring bits to other users in exchange for real or virtual currency.
There you go.
So, if this
because what else was the 80% return? What other context could that specific number state in terms of the return? What the fuck does that mean? Unless you are selling or transferring, in a way that 80% return actually now makes sense if you contextualize it as a transaction.
Using these bits and transferring them to Pirate Software, and Pirate Software is converting that to cash and paying them back, that would appear to violate the TOS. Beyond that, you cannot use the bits to engage in any fraudulent, criminal, or otherwise unauthorized activity, soliciting or receiving bits for any fraudulent or any other criminal activity. That could be a problem because of the nature of what they did, because they engaged in a kind of fraud there where you were having a sock puppet account, a fake account, an alt account, right, that is donating these bits, pretending to be a friend instead of a mod. Now, understand that a mod can very well be perceived as an agent or an employee of the streamer. So if a mod goes out and does something on the streamer's behalf, they are an agent. And the streamer is what's called the principal. That's principal agent theory. And a principal can be liable for the actions of their agent. If you tell somebody to go out and do something, and certainly if you're compensating them or reimbursing them for that, they are your agent. So it's as if the streamer was doing this. It's as if Pirate Software was engaging.
Hold on. Super Iron Bob. Pirate is in Washington, and Washington has a state law requirement that both parties are expected to do good faith efforts to make the contract work. It's a relatively unique clause that came up in Parlor since. Okay, gotcha. Galileo Alonzi Gallifrey, welcome. Waiting for a certain mod to be named. Yeah, I know, for real though. Well, but this is. I mean, look, this is exactly why this is a problem. Like, just laid out in the terms of service. This is completely inappropriate behavior and how to use bits and yeah, this is okay. So, boom, we have the Twitch terms of service violation pretty much down pat. I am interested in the following federal and state law violations he might be on the hook for here.
In this, and in this case, it's doubly damning because he shows he knows this. He was told this, and he didn't say, "Don't do that." He didn't say, "Well, that might be against TOS." He says, "Well, that's kind of shady."
Yeah,
no, he's like, "Okay, great." He's like, "Okay, fine." In fact, he's strategizing on the best way to do this, which is, once again, not a very good look when we're coming to allegations of fraud. So let's continue here. We have federal. Oh no, sorry. Let me go back here. With the terms of service, some people allege, and this is more of a kind of niche allegation here, but some people do allege, and this is something that I believe one of the lawyers brought up for this, was that, well, this is something that there might be a separate contract for. So the lawyer that was talking to Quinn Theo said, hey, there might be a separate contract that might supersede that. Well, in a separate part of the Twitch terms of service, which I looked up, it actually says even in other agreements, even if there is a separate agreement, even if there's a supplement, you still have to follow these terms and you cannot violate them. And I'm very sure that a separate agreement would have incorporated that statement because it's intended to be applied to all separate agreements. So even if there was a separate private streamer agreement, even if Pirate Software got a lawyer and negotiated a private agreement with Twitch, even if that happened, I doubt he's able to break those terms. And beyond that, he's not allowed to break the law. And what we get into next, and the thing that's very spicy, is potential violations of federal law and state law. So let's talk about federal law. Federal law is the Federal Deceptive Trade Practices Act, and that's something.
I can't believe I didn't even think about this, but as soon as I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, absolutely. Federal Deceptive Trade Practices Act. Good job. Fucking great job, Andrew. Holy shit.
Thing that is very, very well known by me. I covered that a lot. That was one of my kind of, I would say, specialties in the corporate realm when I was corporate counsel. There are 3 separate elements. So you need a representation, omission, or practice that is likely to mislead a customer. So the practice would be, hey, donating bits from the sock puppet account. The consumer's interpretation is reasonable under the circumstances. So the consumer is thinking this is a private party. This is somebody else. This is not the mod. This is not Pirate Software. They're thinking, oh, look, this person is extending the hype train. And so because of that misleading representation, that materially led others to donate more to keep it going. It's a very well-known thing in scams and cons. This is something that confidence men do. They get fake buyers to go out there and gin up interest so that people will buy stuff even though it's overpriced. That is a very common fraudulent practice. So by not disclosing the fact that essentially your agent, your employee is going out here and doing that.
Fucking excellent work, Andrew, again. So when I was saying earlier before, I was like, okay, I was trying to like pin down the type of person that that Pirate Software is, because again, he's won DEF CON and stuff like that, but he's won it through social engineering and stuff like that. So what above else, from what I have seen and what I have observed, Pirate Software is nothing more than a very skilled confidence man. He's a con man. That's all he is. He says everything with confidence. He even is wrong with confidence. But that's why he is. Because a con man was like the hacker before machines were hackable. You know, before there was like computers and shit like that. Your hacker was your confidence man, your snake oil salesman, your individual who knew how to gain the system. And that's all Thor is, a con man.
That is misleading a reasonable viewer, a reasonable consumer.
I am fully aware that DEF CON also requires you to work in a team, and I specified Thor's aspect, his contribution to his DEF CON win, his team's DEF CON win, was his social engineering. Yeah, but that's all it is. He's a con man.
Possible interpretation of that. Once again, it's not for sure that he would be convicted of this, but this is opening up the door to these questions. Beyond that, there's state law. So Twitch is in California. Every state has their own Deceptive Practices Act. Florida has one, Georgia has one, New York. A lot of them follow what's called the UDTPA, which is the Uniform
this is called
Deceptive Trade
17500. Right down here,
Practices.
I'm sorry, I had to point this out. California Business Code 17500. false or misleading statements. That is, yeah, there you go. That's a big one. I mean, what was Kronos' statement as the bean person, if not misleading?
Act, but some of them also have things that go further, and some of them have criminal penalties, including California, which can hit you if you go cross certain lines. So Consumer Legal Remedies Act, California has that. And I mentioned California, by the way, because that's where Twitch is. So it would be very reasonable if a California donor, if a California whale brought a claim against a California corporation in a California court against, Twitch and against, Mr. Pirate Software. So there's three things that really come up, and these are separate under the law. The Consumer Legal Remedies Act. Now, that's typically used to products, but there could be an argument that it would apply to services, particularly services that were fraudulent or misleading. But beyond that, there's California Business Code 17500, which leads to false or misleading statements or false or misleading advertisement. And this could be perceived as, hey, falsely advertising that you're number one on the hype train, that you're this hype train leader, that you're this person that needs to be donated to keep this thing going to breach all these levels, when really most of those levels
here's the issue. Because Thor is contracted under Twitch and Twitch operates out of California, Thor's conduct when it comes to working with Twitch, streaming as a Twitch streamer, is beholden to California law, because it's under the company in which he is actually streaming, and of which he has contract. So even though he's in Washington, that's not really relevant to what he would be facing.
Maybe a lot of those levels, some of those levels, were just artificially inflated by either Pirate Software's mod or the sock puppet accounts. I mean, who knows? We don't really have a full track on that yet. And beyond that, there's the unfair competition law. And this one I think is pretty juicy, because this one would even allow other creators the potential to say, hey, this is unfair competition. You're allowing these people to inflate their numbers and get this hype train going on, get featured on the front page, get highlighted, get hyped up, by all of the platform and by the CEO himself, all this sort of good stuff. And that is unfair competition. That's giving them an unfair edge, because they're doing things that are violating the TOS freely. And hey, if you don't enforce this, Twitch, if you don't do anything, Twitch, this is a problem. Now, beyond...
Again, the reason why it's a problem is because you can lose. Not only, this, safe harbor protection, Section 230, only protects really from civil litigation, right? These are... it's white-collar crime, but it is still crime. You know what I mean? California would bring these actions against Twitch, especially if a rich whale of a streamer brought civil litigation against them. California Business Code, a violation of the Business Code is considered a crime. So, you're fucked. You're fucked both in criminal and civil penalty.
On that, there are other issues other than him losing subs. And of course, once again, him losing subs just adds the potential of people that might sue. But beyond that, there's advertisers. Advertisers might feel like they were defrauded. They might feel angry because they're saying, hey, we're running ads and they're supposed to be on the top channels. But if he's falsely inflating his numbers and he's being falsely promoted, well, maybe we're not really getting the value we thought we were getting. We thought we were getting a value of someone who was number one in the hype trains, who was leading in this pack of hype trains, and we're not getting that value.
You see how this can vary? This is this is suddenly way worse than you would initially think.
And even if they don't have a claim, they might express their anger. They might pull out. They might refuse to advertise. Beyond that, this could open the flawed floodgates. If Twitch does not crack down on this, does not issue some punishment, some correction, well, others might say, well, I can do that too. And then everybody is going and committing this deception, which would just open up Twitch as a really, really poor perceived platform where everyone is essentially artificially boosting their own numbers, which once again goes towards Twitch's impotent image. Twitch is something that Twitch's a platform that I've talked about a lot, because they failed to enforce their own rules evenly, fairly, and justly.
Nobody seems to take Twitch seriously as a platform in terms of how they enforce their fair enforcement, their unfair enforcement, whatever there's no respect really given to Twitch as a platform. And I would argue that the rate at which they over-moderate what they don't like and under-moderate what they do like or what falls in line with their political beliefs tells me that they should not even have the safe harbor protections. Because the Ninth Circuit has ruled too much moderation and too little moderation can absolutely waive your rights to safe harbor protections and open you up to litigation as a platform. As a platform. God, fucking mudmouth.
If you have terms of service and you never enforce them, well, that's not a good look for your platform as a whole. And that's why other platforms are rising. Even platforms like Kick are passing Twitch in many metrics because of their poor image. And other platforms like YouTube look at that and say, hey, we're going to stay away from those sort of images, that sort of image, and enforce our rules. So this is a really bad look for Twitch. It does not look good for Pirate Software and is likely to continue his downward slide. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Oh my god. Gabby's in, welcome to the chat. Alright, that being said though, that was our last legal maneuver. So nice try. Oh, damn it, he got through. Autoplay is off and he still got through. How did that happen? Autoplay is actually off. I turned it off the last video. What the fuck? Okay, so... oh, that's right. So we're done reacting to content for today. But thank you so much to all the people who came to react to content with me for the last 2 hours and 47 minutes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell as hard as you possibly can. And don't forget... Hold on, I'm gonna do something here. Make sure that it's done right. We're gonna do this, make sure this is put to ending, and I'm going to end this with a great song that I covered from the other day, got in my head. I did it in the opening, but we had to do it on the closing too. So with that being said, I will see you all on the next one. Oh my god, Douglas Diaz coming in at the very end. Salvi the blue squirrel got fucking squirrel. What the massive doge? What the fuck just happened? Okay, Douglas Diaz, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Let's see here. YouTube out of place knows yeah. Gabby's in. Hoach T, NRT, welcome. Salvi the Blue Squirrel, Massive Doge, Devastator, and Tulusita. Welcome to the membership. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. We are going to be, thank God, and I don't know how I managed to get this working again. But finally the workshop errors with Project Zomboid and our server have resolved themselves, which means that tomorrow we're going to return to the server for some more Project Zomboid. That being said, thank you guys very much for coming to watch and enjoy this ending song. Have you heard the good word? Trump's gonna get it done. He'll release the Epstein files on day 1. The lambs will cry when those names are exposed. Trump's gonna see that justice is imposed. What's that? Oh no, he needs a few months. He wants a case airtight, no bumps. His AG Pam Bondi says files on her desk, and Magna's got binders they can't attest. So he's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched anything. Just draining the swamp with Epstein's name off screen. We got new info, the files were in your mind. Watch Epstein's jail cam, edited for time. No list of accomplices, the guy just died and all this talk of conspiracy, just people who lie. And Trump, he never spent time with that creep, except for the flights and the orgy he peeped. No surprise, there's no client list to exist. Sorry, my friends, it was all just a myth. He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched anything. He's draining the swamp with Epstein's name off screen. The files exist exist made by Obama, Hill, and Biden. Let's not talk Epstein no more or ever again. Reminder that Trump and Epstein were not pals. Why do you care so much about it? All my boys and gals. From now on, if you say Epstein out loud, you're Antifa scum, disloyal and proud. A threat to humanity like Rosie O'Donnell. Deport you to prison without a trial. And it never leaks, and Trump's name appears 100 times over the course of some years. Expect a visit from the army and feds. Trump with a Sharpie erasing what's said. He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched any king. He's draining the swamp. Make Epstein's name Epstein.
Ooh, we can have a little bit of long bottom leaf. You don't need to think about all that. We don't need to think about all that harsh stuff. The world is changing, but the Shire will always remain the same. I won't forget this.